Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Karsh the Goblin. This is the Goblin Cave, and we are back for our Blades of Waterdeep episode 15. Pretty much the shit's hit the fan. It's probably not really the title of the episode, but it's where we're at campaign-wise. We have most of our cast yet again. We have Nick not here this time, unfortunately, but we have Bozo back! Yay! And I just noticed that your overlay's off, so I'm going to fix that clipping. For some reason, it's always one thing or the other in this game. There we go, done. You're just slightly through the overlays, that was all.
That's a proper welcome, I see.
Yes! Yes! Lots of energy, that's it. So, we're going to do our introductions. We've kind of filled in, Bozo, of what's been happening, and where the shit hit the fan, and how bad things are. And then we're just going to jump in. Just a shout out to Syrinscape for the audio that we're using. For online, offline audio, they are awesome stuff. Both for fantasy, sci-fi, horror, cyberpunk, it's all there. Well worth a look, well worth a subscription, or the purchases, or however you want to do the payment plans. So we'll start with Bozo. Can you do your introductions, please?
Yes, my name is Bozo, and I am playing Castle, the Human Warlock.
Wow, you had to think of that one, didn't you?
It's been a long time since I played this game.
It has really been a long time, yeah. Treant?
Hi, I'm Treant Monk, and I am playing Lucky Deepburrows, the halfling cleric of Tamora.
One of the terrible twos, and the other terrible twos, or I should call halves, because they're about halfling size, is...
So we make a full one.
Yes, Ursula?
I'm Ursula, I'm playing Beldoc Buckless, a halfling rogue.
Yes. And so does that mean we technically only have 2 players today? I don't know, because we usually wouldn't play with 2 players. I don't know. So what's happened last week? We'll do a quick, brief replay of what happened. We started the session already on the premises of the Casselanters Manor. And as you're opening the next door to get into the manor, the servants were leaving for the day. Instead of running, which would be sensible because you're already on a lord and lady's property, and laws against nobles are pretty damn strict. No, we fought. And as the door opened, colour spray just laid out on the floor all the bodies of the servants of the day staff. A chandelier fell and hit one of the guards, and Dandelion transformed themselves into a spider to run into the office to try to steal the Stone of Galore. And a fight went through. Only 2 guards were downed, and the... So 2 guards were downed. The butler entered the fray, the man which you've seen several times with burn scars or acid burns on his forearms, who actually appeared this time as an elderly tiefling this time in this image. And so as the fight continued, the guards weren't the problem. The butler certainly was a problem, or at least appeared to be, although I will say you were kicking his butt. You really took a lot of hit points off him. The 2 halflings getting sneak attack really was doing damage until the Lord went, I'm sick of this, went out there and cast an 8th level spell, Maze, on Lucky, who was then trapped, but enjoying the fact he was exploring a new maze. He was almost there, he almost found out how to get out. Bella ran, the smart thing to do. Yes, halfway came. The smart thing to do was to run, I will say that. Abandon your friends, your lifelong friends. It's okay. Dandelion, who had found the Stone of Galore in a secret compartment of a locked drawer, couldn't get the Stone of Galore out unless he actually transformed himself inside the locked drawer of a heavy oak solid.
Oh!
Yay!
Whoa!
We've got... Yay! Didn't think you were going to come in here, Nick. No problem. Yes, good to see you, Nick. We're just doing the recap of what happened. If someone else can want to follow on that recap, because I'll quickly do the overlay stuff live.
Okay. I'll take care of it.
Yep.
So, Bella got her butt out of there before she took on everybody by herself. But fortunately, there was a spider that came and bit the caster, breaking concentration, allowing everyone to get away. We then found ourselves with a bunch of notes that had been written that told us everything we needed to know. We needed 4 keys. We needed to find out this treasure was in some kind of tower. We started making plans on how we were going to get those keys. And we reconvened, eventually all met up at Castle's abode. We found out that we were, in fact, allied to Jarl Axel. We didn't know we were, but now we know. And once we found out, we decided to be very, very nice to him. And when we last left off, the party was on pursuit of a Drow renegade who has been murdering elves to claim one hand, and probably the rest of them too.
Something along those lines. That's pretty good, yeah. So the offering of half of the treasure of the dragon heists, and I believe Nick was... or Dandelion was in the shape of a bloodhound sniffing for clues, and he just found an acrid smelling substance on a roof nearby where there'd been a previous murder scene. So, hi Nick, would you like to do your introduction?
Hello, I am Nick Knack. I am playing Dandelion, a human druid, and pronouns are they, them, so I'm a bit late.
That's okay. We had the same
We're glad
audio.
you're here.
We had the same audio issues that we had last week because we didn't do the Rusty Daggers last week as well to fix them or to refine them. So it's good to see you here. It's okay being a little bit late because we were late ourselves. So awesome, we're full cast, yes! So we open our scene in the docks of Waterdeep. It's, do you remember what time of the day it was? Was it early or was it late?
It was still day, but it might have been.
We just
like
had 11 Cs.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's midday, I guess.
We just finished having them, so it must be like in the evening.
Well, we had to have lunch after 11 Z's, so
Yeah.
it's probably early afternoon.
Well,
Yeah.
I was thinking
before afternoon tea for sure.
I was thinking because you were saying it was just after 11 C's, you're keying it up to have more food, to have lunch. That's what I was thinking as soon as you said just after 11 C's. It's like almost time
That's
for
the
lunch.
thing about 11 Z's. Whenever you get up from 11 Z's, you're always starting to get hungry for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better just to get them both done right away.
I mean, eating is hard work. It makes you hungry.
It builds an appetite.
Oh boy.
Yep, we've started. We've started. Oh boy, yep, that's it. So, you're on...
We've basically been running the show while you've been gone.
I
Bozo.
imagine. Castle's had some introspective time thinking to himself.
No one's gone hungry that entire time.
The tavern
I mean,
count...
we did stay in a tavern, like, before we went to bother you.
Yeah.
The tavern count has gone up, has increased. Not as astronomically as before, but it has increased while you've been away. So, as I said, you're on the streets at what you believe to be one of the former murder scenes. there was only the bloodhound would have smelt this, that there was an old smell of blood, and there's something as an acrid smell up on a rooftop nearby, and that's all you had. And Dandelion was just pointing, indicating in his bloodhound style that there's something on the roof. And now we open our scene in the afternoon, early afternoon, after lunch, of course, in the docks of Waterdeep.
Well, is there any way for us to get up on that roof? Let's take a look around and see if there's anything to climb.
We'll do a search or perception or something like that for search.
Okay.
I'll help Lucky look.
Lucky look? That sounds
I'll
bad.
help. I will help Lucky search for a way to get up.
Well, we've already got 24. Do you want to roll again for your advantage fee?
Sure.
Just in case you crit.
Just in case you do better.
And I did.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yes.
So we'll swap to the other screen, just so you can see this. I know that the overlay is off, but just so you can see this. 20 plus 4, and then a 24 plus 1. So wrong. Just so wrong.
Hey, I'm still a helpful guy.
Oh yeah, yep. So what we find ourselves searching around is you don't just see a way to get up, but you also, when you get up on top of the roof, without any skill checks needed, because it's an easy finding crates and boxes to get up and whatnot, you find in that perception what looks to be little burn marks on the roof itself. Although they've been aged, but it looks like a chemical burn on the roof. That from where the acrid smell is coming from. Just got to move.
Any idea what might have caused this? Castle. Burning stuff is kind of your thing, isn't it?
Not always, but I'll go ahead and I'll take a close look at these chemical burns.
A
I don't know if I need to roll
alchemist?
for that, but
Alchemist,
no. No.
maybe?
I'm not an alchemist.
Anything else on those lines? Arcane.
I have proficiency in Arcana and Investigation, so
One of the two would do.
all right, bonus is the same. So
I would say
And,
Arcane probably the most.
Throw a guidance on there.
Okay.
they have the same bonus.
They're
so.
the same bonus. So, as a combination with both the
Sure.
investigation and arcana knowledge, you know that it is certainly an alchemical substance with some arcane properties laced into it. You know that the tile, because it's a tiled roof, the tiles don't burn very easily or at all. But whatever it was enough to at least flash burn the tile in a small area, and then it's gone now. But the mark is still there and it hasn't washed off from the rain or anything along them lines. And there's something else in that investigation, because you rolled 24. Have you got any medical skill?
Nope.
Okay. Well, you notice there's also something
dog
else. The dog does. Or the dog can do a perception. The
Yeah.
dog has a
If we
medical
were able to
skill?
get the dog- were we
Just the
able to
dog is
get
middle
the
skill.
dog-
Also, the dog's on the ground. I don't know how I'm going to get on the roof. I'm
not
looking
sure.
up at everybody.
Can we help get
With the
Dandelion up?
24, the dog can jump from one crate to the other. So 25 roll to get up. The dog can actually find a way up. So
Awesome. I sniff at it.
you sniff at it. You notice that there's...
It gets stuck in my nose.
You do have a bonus to it because it's a perception. Smell-based
Yeah,
perception.
that's right. You should have advantage and a guidance.
And a guidance.
Okay, here's my second roll.
Oh!
Well, that's even
The dice gods giveth and the dice gods taketh away.
Okay. Well, I'll say that there's more going on than the alchemical. There's something also natural. There's two substances there and two smells, distinctive smells going through. The most overpowering is the alchemical, whatever did that flash burn. But there's something else there which you don't know, and you just don't have enough information because it may have washed away where the other substance is still present. But in this circumstance, there's only one smell that you can really know what's going on, if anything. And you sneeze from the strong smells, yes. And probably slobber everywhere as bloodhounds, yes.
So I'll turn back to Lucky and I'll say to him, as far as I can tell, some sort of strong acid, possibly magical, but it seems powerful enough to be quite recognizable. Maybe this might be something we could track.
You think it's actually not
turns
acid, but the
Lucky
opposite.
to find him very distracted because
It's
there
not
was
acid.
because there was
opposite.
a doggy who sneezed, and so it's got lots of.
Just slobber everywhere. Like, I don't know what's going on, but okay.
So acid burns, but also is it alkaline?
Right, not an acid, but a base.
A base, yes.
Yeah.
The opposite, yes.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think I could be totally wrong. I never took chemistry, but that's what I'm saying.
It's a fantasy world.
It's a fantasy. We'll make it up as we go along
I like that.
until the rules tell me otherwise, and then we'll just ignore the rules. Yes. Sorry,
Freedom.
I'm really off my face today. Well, not. I'm excited. So yes, you find an acid burn, also a burn on the tiles, and you don't notice there's anything else there. But as you're here, you also notice that it's got a very good vantage point where you're standing to the street below. You're not as visible as you would think as standing on a roof, and you also notice that there's a lot of other roofs that you can easily get to and from this location. And you also have a good vantage point along a couple of streets that you can see of traffic coming through.
Maybe this is where our the Drow we're looking for did his ambushes from. Maybe he had alchemist fire or something like that.
Possibly.
Mhm.
What is the building of the what's the building? We're
What building are we on?
yeah.
It's just a building. It could be. You don't know if it's a tenement building or if it's
Right.
a
Walk
shop.
around to the front.
You
if
had
there's
to
like a
do
sign
that.
or
Meanie.
And give us the exact address
No.
and the color of each building next to it.
I thought you were going to say height.
Oh, and
how many
height
windows?
too.
How many
Right,
people
thank you.
residents? And
How many panes are in the windows? How old how cracked is the wood?
I will say that the old maps of Waterdeep used to have actual street names for every street, I believe, even the alleys. The new one only has prominent streets, so a little bit of a letdown there. A little bit of a letdown. So it seems to be, as you get down and go to around the side, it seems to be just an old warehouse, which looks to be a shut-up shop at the moment.
Okay. I'll walk around to the back and watch Lucky frickin' pet this dog for so really long.
I was trying to
do
sniff,
wanna-
but he keeps pulling its face back. He's like, wait, I gotta
Yeah.
sniff stuff.
And there's hugs.
At this point, I'm just kind of like doing that one thing where like big cats where they have like prey in their mouth and kind of waddle, but instead it's Lucky hanging from my neck and I'm just waddling around.
On top of a roof.
Yep.
What could go wrong?
Yep.
I do want to do a once over for a trapdoor on the roof.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can do an investigation or perception. In this, it's
I'll
the same.
investigate. Okay.
Okay, you don't find a trapdoor on the roof of the building. But you also know
Alright.
that there was blood on the street and there was the smell of possibly where the person shot from or attacked from up here with whatever it was that they did. But there doesn't seem to be any trapdoor of them coming up from underneath or them going down. They've certainly gone to the street itself.
Do we think they'll come back here or try some a different place?
From the information that you gather, because you have been to a lot of taverns as always, that you've they're not striking the same spot. This just seems to be a very, very intelligent place to strike from. But they haven't just used one place. They seem to be following the target more than anything else, than just having an ambush and leading a target to them.
So I'm not sure how much this helps us to know that this attack happened here.
Well,
Right, but we have identified that whatever it is has some sort of caustic material that it uses.
And
have
and
a bit
likes
more
to
of an
attack from rooftops.
look for.
We could just quick try and check other rooftops to see if we can find a trail or something. But
Okay.
I don't know how we're going to get a bloodhound across rooftops. No, we have Mage Hand, though.
I also have a
Just
spell
lift her
called
across.
Jump.
Can you
We have... No,
cast
I'm
spells?
kidding.
No.
It's
no,
like...
they can't
yeah.
cast in animal form.
I gotta be a person, but I do have it. I just
Oh,
can't
no,
cast
I
it
was
right
saying I have it, and I think Bella has it.
I
And-
don't.
Mage hand,
I
yes.
don't. Yeah, but that's 10 pounds.
Well, 2 Mage Hands is 20 pounds.
We just need
But a single
a
failure
more
of that
mage
roll.
hands.
But a single failure of that roll would drop. You wouldn't be helping each other. It'd be disadvantage.
I have doubts that we're going to be able to track anything on tile rooftops.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
Tiles would make it quite difficult.
I mean, we need to find like an elf and just watch it. Like, see if somebody.
Let's find some
Follow-
poor guy and follow him.
Well, we have actually a smaller area that has
Yeah.
the attacks have taken place. So I think we should just patrol it, right?
I mean,
And-
I did
and look,
come up.
and look for something, and see if something suspicious is seen, right? Or if we see an elf wandering around or something like that. But I think
I mean,
patrolling is really all
It
we
did
have to
occur
go
to
on.
me,
Mhm.
Castle, can't you disguise yourself as an elf?
I can. But I'm sure there are plenty of other elves in the dock ward.
Yeah,
Elven
but what if
sailors?
But what if you're the elf that's singing "I hate Drow, I hate Drow"?
Seems like a quick trip to the death ward or the city of the dead.
Yeah. It just so happens that there's 10 pubs in the area, and there's 3 just outside the area of the search range.
Well,
Just a
I think we can
coincidence.
cover that in one night. We've done it before.
We've covered more than that before.
Yeah, but it took all day
Who
when
is
you've done that.
bound to come up?
So,
All right, well-
bar hopping, looking for elves, is that the plan?
I think we're just patrolling overnight because we don't know where
Yeah.
this is going to happen.
And you also don't know when. It's not every night.
Yeah. So we may have to visit these 10 pubs several times.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
that's,
man, what a bummer.
We really have no choice.
yeah. But I think it's worth the sacrifice.
Somebody's got to be a hero.
But do you have to drink and eat at every one of them?
Well, I figure we've got to be inconspicuous.
So yeah.
You should support your local businesses.
If we just show up and don't drink, that's suspicious.
And it's rude.
That too.
Okay, so if the plan is just to essentially go from tavern to tavern throughout the night, what are you looking for specifically in your searching, apart from good food and drink?
Certainly, any elves we see, we're going to take notice of. And if we do, we're going to be specifically looking to see if anybody else looks like they're watching them. And as we're moving from pub to pub, we'll be keeping our eyes on the rooftops for any movement, or in the shadows or alleys for anything suspicious, or again, of any elves we might see wandering out there, especially if they're by themselves.
Yep. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick roll, D100 roll, to see if the Elven Sailors Convention's in town.
I hope
You
not.
never know.
Too many targets.
Yeah, no, 48's probably a bit high. So the Elven Sailors Convention's not in town, so they're not at one of the taverns. Though that could have been a big, well, probably not really an entertaining party. Not that type. Maybe the Dwarven Sailors would be an entertaining party. Or the Halfling Sailors would just be a big feast. Yes. So as you're going from tavern to tavern, I'm not going to ask for rolls and things like that, because you're on the lookout and you're keeping an eye on everything. And what happens is you get a couple of rumours picking up from the taverns, and one of them's a bit strange. One of them's strange, and one of them's strange, and one of them's also related, but in a different way. So the first rumor that you start hearing is about someone is asking to hire a dwarf to shave his beard. And although the numbers vary, and you do hear different numbers throughout the night, sometimes the number is 100 gold, sometimes the number is up to 500 gold. And the look and the style and the description of the person hiring is always different, but on occasion you hear about burns to the forearms on the person. So that's going on throughout the docks ward as a rumour going on. And every time people are talking about it, it's usually dwarves that are talking about it, of course. They're talking about the fact that if you ever go back to my wife, she'd divorce me, or I'd wake up with an axe through me. Things like that. It's always been a this is never going to happen result. The other rumour that you hear, or the other story that you hear going on, is that there's a big feast about to happen, and one of the nobles is going to invite 100 people that are 100 urchins from the dock ward to the feast, and those urchins are going to be accepted into noble families and taught and scholared and trained in the noble ways. And Casselanter is the name of the noble family.
Well,
So why do they want to do that? That has nothing to do with any of the keys.
What are they gonna do to those kids?
Yep. The timing of it
Is this
is
normal?
for Founders Day, which is about 10 or 12 days away.
I wonder if it has something to do with looking for us.
Oh, and there's also the fact that there's apparently some people that, when people talk about that one, there's also the added story that apparently they also just got robbed by a couple of street urchins. Sometimes it's street urchins, sometimes they say thieves, but often it's referred to as, like, sometimes it's also referred to as children tried to rob them.
Children.
They're
code
wrong
for
every
cards.
time. They were robbed by treasure hunters.
Yes, that's right. Treasure hunters are legal. adventurers are not. So that's a few of the things that are going on, and that you hear without even investigating, because that's happening in the docks. These are the rumours that are really, these are the stories of what's going on in the docks. So as you go from tavern to tavern, there's nothing. There's no elves that you see. There's no elven sailors. It's a quiet. Well, it's an alcoholic and very. How can I put it? There's a lot of food that's been eaten throughout the night. So if you're looking to purchase lots of food and looking to drink up, then please mark off the amount of coinage that you think is appropriate for your night. I'm not going to force you to mark off X amount. If you're going to drink, mark off X. If you're going to eat a lot, also mark off.
Done.
But
The halflings empty their entire inventory.
We have quite a bit of gold. That would be more food than I think we could find on the docks in these.
Yeah, I mean, I have 284 gold. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes, you have been paid
you
recently.
You should have some more gold too, actually, on your character sheet.
Cool. How much more?
I think it was something like
Uh,
100.
was it marked down? Because if it was,
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so-
163.
Cool.
I think it was 125. We each got paid. It was 500 gold we got from Charles Axel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I added
Awesome.
it to your actual gold in your inventory, instead of
Okay,
just marking
appreciate
it
it.
randomly. But yes, it's alcoholic and it's a rowdy night, but you don't see any elves. You don't see anyone on rooftops surveilling people or moving between things throughout the night. It's a quiet night, as going to 10 or 12 pubs, maybe.
quiet for us.
Quiet mission
Well,
wise.
pubs.
I'd say that was a productive evening. Let's
that's
do it again tomorrow.
Yep.
So
I
the
mean,
question is though,
we have
that's-
to.
Day
No
one
other
of the hunt
choice.
is now done.
where are you staying for the night?
I'm assuming one of these taverns maybe has some rooms.
Most of them would, yes.
I'll be on the roof this
I'll
night.
get a room.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that too.
I mean, do we need more than one room?
I'm getting my own room, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a
Here's
night
a-
off.
It's a share room.
I had a night off last night. I'm gonna keep that going.
I'm sure Bella and Lucky will share a room.
Dandelion is on the roof, and they are speaking to. It's summertime, and not all birds are awake, but there are probably a bunch of rats that are awake after bar hours. And I'm going to start chatting them up and asking them about this weird smell that I smelled, and if they'd ever smelled it before.
Okay. So I'll read off a couple of names of some of the taverns in the area, and you can just pick one of them. So the Blushing Mermaid, the Hanged Man, the Sleeping Wrench, the Hanging Lantern, the Skewered Dragon, the Blue Mermaid, the Mermaid's Arms, Warm
Mermaid.
Beds. That's a bit of a weirder one, but Bloody Fists.
I don't know if that's a tavern.
No, their beds are just heated.
Thirsty Sailor, and Ship's Prow, and the Angry Coxswain.
I think the warm bed sounds good to me.
Yeah, they got heated beds. They probably have heated floors.
The Warm
They just like
Beds
cycle people
is-
through. They have shifts just laying on the bed, making sure all the beds are warm.
I put a strong case in for the sleeping wrench, but I do secede. I will go to the warm bed.
So the Warm Beds is this one here. Ship Street and Prosper Street. These are the Warm Beds. And it's a nice... with a name called the Warm Beds, the establishment just delivers what it promises and little more. Each bed is warmed by 3 heated stones placed in it before the renter retires.
Like that.
There is a hot water available for washing. heated by a bucket beside the same giant hearth that warms the bedstones. Rooms with 1 to 4 single beds are available. This inn has no stabling. Most patrons sell their sell their mounts. That's a bit weird. It provides
sell the
no
mounts here?
food of any kind.
Oh no. Okay, so no way.
We asked for their
place is
menu, and
boring.
they said they don't have one. We leave.
What the hell?
Now
Oh,
we're
it's
not
also
staying
so-
here.
Let's go to the sleeping wrench. Come on.
Sleeping wench it is.
I thought I should read it all. It's like, yep, that's definitely an important part. Sleeping wench is...
Oh, wench? Ah, I thought it was wrench.
No, wench
Dang it.
is this one down here. It doesn't have a description to read off, but I'm just going to say, look, it's a dive tavern like most of the others. It's going to have some rooms between like 3 to 4 people, like 1 to 3 beds in the room, and it's going to be fairly dodgy for the most part,
Perfect.
but simple, and having food. And Dandelion's on the roof. What would you like to do, Dandelion? Who are you talking to? And
I'm speaking to the local rat gang of little rat companions, because obviously there are definitely rats hanging around every single bar. So I'm gonna go talk to their little clergy and ask them if they've smelled any sort of like the similar smell that I smelled, if they smelled it anywhere else.
okay,
Which they smelled like 5 times.
I'm going to ask for like a tracking to try to find the rats a bit more. Yes, there's going to be rats. I'm not going to put a DC of 20, but you still need to try to find...
Luckily, I prepared the spell, locate animals and or plants, and it's a ritual.
So you're rat hunting, you're sitting on top of the inn, doing a ritual, and yes, you can find rats, and you can find a large amount. There's within 5 miles. I mean, seriously, you're in the docks, and you're really close to the South Ward as well. That's also in your 5 miles. Actually, even that will go up to Castle Ward. And Trades Ward.
They're everywhere.
Just the rats, no other creatures.
No other
It'll
creatures,
also
just
go
rats.
up to like the bottom of City of the Dead. 5 miles is huge.
I see all of the rats. Just
You
open
see
my
a lot-
eyes and I'm like, it was a bad idea. There's just like so much sensory overload.
I will say I've seen a campaign where a paladin tried to turn a god. Didn't work out well for him. It was God's avatar, but it still didn't work out well for him. You see a lot of rats, so you can find a large group of rats in your local vicinity to ask them. And what are you specifically going to ask them?
If they smelled anything, this description of the smell was like acid, but it was also kind of like fiery.
It's not. It's the base, not the acid. It's the opposite. It's an acrid smell
Oh, okay, I
instead of
guess so.
acidic, and it's very distinctive. Your character will be able to describe it better than I have, especially with. I'm not very good with describing smells. I'm not really good, but the rats do say that they've smelt it a few times. And they can't really describe where, though. They could take you if you want, but they can't really.
Midnight journey.
They don't know street names, though. That's the thing.
All right, I'll shape into a rat and follow the rat crowd
Okay, so
and
you're
go on
on
a
the
mini
streets.
adventure.
You're on the streets as a rat. Now, local rat catchers guild. Okay, didn't think I'd have to bring that one in.
Oh no!
No, it's the dogs. They wouldn't have rat catchers. That's for the North Ward and Sea Ward.
The rat catchers are the cats, but I can speak to animals right now for up to 10 minutes, so I can talk down a cat, hopefully.
A little bit. like 10 minutes, you could be, yeah.
And then it eats me, and I turn into a person.
Yeah. So as you're out doing this and you're searching, and they're essentially running you through the places, and they're mostly like when they're like telling you where, it's usually up on top of things. It's almost always on top of something, and so they're essentially going to show you places, and the rats would have also a good decent smell. So I'm saying every time you find it, yes, you can see. Most of the times they have that same burnt patch on the tiles, but that smell is really there. I'll allow you to do another perception or investigation to see if you can pick up the other smell that's also present, the one that you missed in the previous location. I'll give you advantage on this because you're going to several locations. Okay, 16 is much better than the ones before. So with 16, you know that, yes, it's an alchemical substance and it's really overpowering, but you then now catch there's something else in there, and it's a smell that you're familiar with, although not something that you would use yourself, but there's also a poison in there. It's not the poison,
I'm
it's the
proficient
smell.
with poisoners' kits.
There's a strong poison also laced in there. It's dissipated more than the other smell, but there's also, yes, whatever it is also doing a poison. Ooh. And a strong one at that. On top of this, you also notice in rat form that there is how can I put this? There's two things going on. So we're going to do the first one first. So in the tavern, in the inn, are you going to bed early or going to bed late?
Well, we were up all night, so I assume we going to bed after breakfast.
Okay, so while Dandelion's out in rat form and out and about, do you have the window open? Oh, sorry. A piece of paper flies into the tavern and lands on your table in front of your food. And lands in front of Cassell.
That's probably from our ally.
I'll take it, unfold it, and read it out loud to everyone.
And it says quite simply, due to recent events, we can no longer work with you. I would also suggest running now.
We're not getting paid for that, are we?
Then at the bottom, in big letters, they are scrying you.
Uh-oh.
As you hear footsteps, large amounts of footsteps on the outside of the tavern, marching.
And are we in like the common room at this point?
In the common room of the tavern, because you said you were going to be up all night. Otherwise, it would have been in your bedrooms.
All right. Well, I get up immediately and head, I guess, into the kitchen. Maybe they have a back exit.
Yeah, definitely go to the kitchen. Also using Mask of Many Faces to change my appearance into that of a half-elf with blonde hair. Long blonde hair.
Half-elves can be mistaken for elves. This could make things even more interesting.
Let's go.
I hate Drow! I hate Drow!
So
I'm multitasking.
So you're heading into the kitchen. There's a bit of an uproar that you just barge into the kitchen. It's like, get out of here! What are you doing? You do see there's a back entrance to the kitchen.
Yeah, sorry. Bye.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Also,
and I run for it.
Yeah. So the halflings can just scoot under the tables and through like the cooking desks and cooking benches and jumping through underneath them. You're going to have to be a bit harder. Can I get an escape artist or a strength type thing to muscle your way through? as you're hearing we are here from the City Watch. Has anyone seen these people? And you hear that from inside the tavern itself.
Would acrobatics apply?
Acrobatics can also be applicable in this as you try to dodge around or jump over the cooking surfaces.
Oof.
Okay, so you try to jump over the cooking surface, and you... can you roll just a D20? High is bad, low is good. Okay, so you jump. You actually make it over the surface, but in doing so, you essentially also jumping across a surface which had some knives placed on it. In doing so, you're going to get just a little bit of damage. Now let's roll D20. No, I'm just kidding.
I chopped my own hand off.
No. So D6. So only 1 point. Sorry, 2 points of damage. So D6, D3 really. 2 points of damage as you cut yourself as you're trying to jump over, and you do make it over. It wasn't going to be a hard check. It was more of a case of you're going to either cop damage or you don't make it. So you jump over, you're at the back door, and there's other, like the halflings at the back door, pretty much ready to go. And they're trying to reach the back door, and it's actually up higher, so people can't reach it. So children of the staff can't get out. It's like one of those daycare centres. So they're really having to either wait for Cassell to get through or figure out a way of how of opening it. So how are you going to open it?
Oh, we've done this so many times. Or Lucky up on Bella's shoulders. Just instantly. We just stop and just like look at each other and then...
Can I get a quick acrobatics
that we've done before? Many times.
That's an acrobatics,
okay.
each of you.
So I would not have a chance to do guidance this time, so it's just straight up.
Nope.
Okay.
And okay, so who's on top? Who's on bottom?
I imagine Lucky usually goes on top because Bella is stronger.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lucky climbs up, and just as you're climbing up, you lose your footing off Bella, and you're just holding onto the handle as you've lost your footing, and you're working the handle with your hands, and you open it up, and as you open up, the door swings onto an alley, and you're holding onto this handle, and the alley is dark, and you can't see anyone. But you're actually holding onto the handle as it swings out, and the stench of the alley, the smell of old food, just comes into the kitchen. So Cassell, you pass the people, you pass the cooks and the servers and the staff. The back door's open. What are people doing for the next round? Are you just bolting?
Yeah, I think Lucky is running.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to I want to look around. Is the alley pretty much empty?
The alley seems to be pretty much empty, but it's dark. How would you be able to see the alley?
Oh, it's dark. Oh, it's morning. That's right.
Yes. Still nighttime.
Okay. I'd still like to do a quick check around the
Yes, you
just
can do a
looking
perception.
around the alley to see if I see anything.
Yes, you can do a perception.
Okay.
Only you, because everyone else is dark. There's no one in the alley that you can see. There's no guards
Is there any
hiding.
things, objects? I'm looking to block the
Objects?
door.
They're out, just outside the door is just all the wasted stuff. So wasted barrels, wasted crates, everything is just put to the back door, and you can, it just smells of even rotten food and things like that. So there are things you can easily put behind the door.
I'll take one or two of those barrels and throw them behind the door really quick, and then cast Expeditious Retreat and run away.
Okay. And your first instance with the scrying is over, although Dandelion, you don't know anything about this.
Hanging out with my rat friends, like, woo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yep. So a little bit later, as you're heading back to the tavern, and are you heading back to the front door or the back door of the tavern? Or are you heading back to the roof?
Well, since I found some stuff with my rat friends, I was going to go inside and go rendezvous with everyone else.
Okay. So, as you're getting to the, going into the tavern to the front of it, you do notice 3 things posted on the door. And the first of these looks surprisingly familiar. And we'll go across here. Oops, we'll do show to everybody. There we go. And it looks to be a wanted poster nailed to the front door of the tavern with your face on it. For crimes
Good thing
against,
I look like an old man right now.
Yep, for crimes against the city, murder of a city officials, 2 counts, hampering justice by destruction of evidence, murder of citizens without just cause, 4 counts, the use of magic unlawfully on officials and citizens, escaping lawful arrest, unlicensed driving of a carriage, very important, that one, disturbing the peace, also wanted for questioning over recent murders in Trollskull Alley.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and that's posted on the front door of the tavern. Also,
That's weird.
what's posted on the front door of the tavern? Oops. Let's do it. Just try to power this way. There we go. Is one for Lucky. For crimes against the city, including treason by sabotage of vital city infrastructure, attempted murder and assault of a lord, armed robbery of noble of Waterdeep, murder of citizen without just cause, 6 counts. The use of magic unlawfully to kill and maim. The use of magic to unlawfully influence citizens. Disturbing the peace. Also wanted questioning over recent murders in Trollskull Alley. And there's a third. Oops. And the third one is with Bella. For crimes against the city, and the same as the previous one. And that's what's on the front of the tavern. Do you want to enter the tavern?
Are Bella and Lucky's posters next to each other so it looks like they're fist bumping?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. If they're
Yours is
not,
in the
move
middle?
them so they are.
Yep, yep.
Yours is in the middle, and the other 2 on the outside.
I move it so it looks like they're fist bumping, but I keep it there.
So you take yours off and put one across. Yep.
I'll peek into the window, just see if they're in there, because I don't know if they're disguised or not. Just peek through, because I'm
Last
still an
time you
old
saw
man
us-
right now.
Last time you saw us, we were both disguised.
Yep. So that's on the outside of the taverns. Of that tavern specifically. And it's very early in the morning. So are you entering it or are you going elsewhere?
I'll just look through the window to see if I see their disguises at a table eating or not.
You see some guards looking around and searching, and you see the table that everyone was at, still with food there and drinks there, and nobody there.
Okay, seeing that there's still food and drinks there, I immediately turn around. I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Just waddle off as an old man.
Yep, they don't leave food ever.
Well, I don't know where to go now, so I'm just gonna walk around,
Speaking
try
of
to
which,
find an elf. Because I know they're looking for an elf.
where is everybody else going? It's early in the morning.
Castle's house.
Why not?
Probably.
As you head towards Castle's house, the same 3 posters are posted on the door.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I don't think we can go here.
well.
Temple of Tamora.
It's a
This
long
could
way.
still be a good day.
It's very late too. Haven't slept.
I've always wanted to see what was out there. Maybe.
I am getting a little tired, though. Well, there's an alley. I think we've slept there before.
Yeah, I'm sure we have.
Then can I get a survival check for the two halflings picking the right alley for you to sleep in?
All right. This one will have a guidance.
I will give you an urchin bonus.
Cool.
Because this is where you've.
Oh, well, that's
as
good.
Well, it's only 10, but I was going to say a advantage on this roll because you are urchins. This is where you grew up. This is what you used to do.
They need
There
it.
we go.
And they do need it. But it was what I was saying when they just rolled singly. A 10 and a 7 wasn't going to cut it when you're actively being chased here. So you
We've been
find
spoiled.
A 23, I'm more comfortable with.
having your own tavern, having a manor house.
Yeah.
We're out of practice. We used to sleep
Yeah.
out here all the time.
We're going soft.
Yep. But they do find Castle a nice place. Well, it's not nice, but you think it's quite hidden away. And it's a place, it's an alley where not many people would go to, and like there's places to cover up the fact that there's people there. It's not what you'd usually live in. It's not Castle's normal bed and roof and everything. And let's
You've had us stay in your house enough times. It's about time we had you stay in our house.
Yeah.
I am this close to just using Mask of Many Faces and just go find a tavern to sleep in, but
That's
I'll
what we
stick
did
around.
last time. It didn't work so well.
yeah.
And thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciated. Okay. So, are you going to find a place to stay, or are you just going to sleep in the alley with the two halflings?
I'll stay in the alley. There's no reason to split everyone up more.
Yep. So where's Dandelion going? It's late.
Oh,
It's really early in the morning.
that everyone's gone. It's like, well, time to go hang out with my rat friends again. I'm gonna go ask them if there's some place safe for me to hide that is of my size.
They you can see that they're trying to size you up, and they can't really
The
figure
little
out.
pause.
Yeah, and like they don't seem to like be able to understand of your size. Every time they point something out and try to indicate, it's like even like it's bigger than them, but it's still maybe the size of a bucket or the size of like a cat. Like you're just too big a scale for them to actually comprehend.
I nod and resign to finding some rooftop to sleep on that would be in sight of one of the murder sites just to hang out and scope it out. But I will probably fall asleep on it.
Okay, I think it's time to do the weather.
If anything, I have mold earth and can just bury myself.
On a roof, you're gonna bury yourself on a roof.
Well, I can go on the ground.
Okay.
Pretty sure
No, I just
the
thought
dock where it's all dirt.
no, you should bury yourself on a roof. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can carry the dirt up to the roof and bury myself.
Yeah.
Might be a bit suspicious though, just to mount it. Why is that on the roof?
Yeah, there's just a bunch of dirt on top of a roof.
As you're thinking that, and as the halflings and Cassell finally get to sleep, the rain starts.
I knew it.
This is a random weather effect here. And it doesn't just start. It's not a soft rain, but you just hear this, like you hear it before you see it, before you start feeling it as it comes through the city and just moves in. This heavy rain just hitting the city full pelt, and we only roll weather once a day.
This is the
So-
part where I should have used Druidcraft to look at my little weather orb, but I forgot to do it today. And it's like, oh, crap. That's why I
And
use
it's-
that
what-
spell, so I
what
know what weather
buildings?
it is.
I know you want this question. What buildings are around us?
There are lots of buildings around you.
You rolled weather.
I don't have a roll for.
I want
I
to look
remember
for something
there's-
that looks like it's not in use right now.
I remember there's an old warehouse not too far from here.
We had some luck before when we needed a place to stay. Just chicken doors.
So if you go into looking for the old warehouse, you do know where that warehouse was from the old place. It's not specifically right where you are, but you can at least know where it is, if that's where you're going, underneath the roof of where you were searching before.
Unless there's somewhere closer.
That
We're
would
just looking for
require
shelter.
really looking hard when at least you know somewhere.
Okay,
that you
we'll
think
go
you can
there.
get to. Yeah, and it will require a lockpick or essentially breaking a window.
I don't think we'll need to break a window.
Yeah.
I think
all three of us are
Yeah.
pretty good at navigating locks.
Yep. And Dandelion was looking to find at least look at a site where you could sleep on a roof and surveil, and you really only knew that one site. So I'm just saying, just out of luck and pure coincidence, that as the rain hits, that's the roof that you were sitting on to try to surveil on top of the warehouse.
So I just have my shape water. It's like water bending an umbrella as I'm like just looking around.
How long does that last for?
It's a cantrip.
So you can
But
just keep on casting.
There are
it
different instantaneous things.
instantaneous.
Or an
for 1 hour.
Instantaneous or 1 hour.
So you're sitting on a roof, and the water's just not hitting you.
It's just a little like it's like when you put a spoon under the sink and it just
And is it a 30-foot or target area that you can see? So it's only one person, or is it just?
the range is 30 feet, so I can cast it at a distance.
Yeah.
But the
It's only 5 foot.
cube is 5 feet,
Okay, I was just like,
so it just fits underneath me.
I was just thinking 30 foot. That's a lot for a cantrip, but no, 5 foot sounds right. Yes. So as you're sitting there and you're just like shielded and you're looking out just for elves, you do see an elf walking past and walking towards, well, maybe a half elf at that.
It's got half an elf here.
Oh, it's small ears. It's kind of elf features, but not the full extreme features of an elf.
And likely, two of the creatures would look dejected from the rain, and one of them is just having fun jumping in the puddles.
Yes. So the two
One of them
walking with the elf,
Clearly salty.
are they children or are they dressed as halfling? I don't know. One's going to be
I
acting like a
put on
child.
my druid binoculars and zoom in. Just put my hands up here and just zoom in. What do I see?
Isn't that how it's done? Yep. Although you don't recognise the three. One of them is certainly acting like a child and has a big feather out of his hat.
That seems pretty familiar. I think I shall jump off the roof. I'll climb down safely.
Mm-hmm.
I leap off of it and just go straight towards them.
And the
Are
party,
you
oh
in
my
your
god, is
human
reunited.
form? You're in your human form right now?
Yeah. I after my rat form.
Yeah. And the water's just not touching him. Not touching Dandelion at all.
That's really
Little
lucky.
umbrella.
Really lucky.
Yes. I can water bend, and I like bend it over to make it like do it because I can make it into shapes. I make it into like a bird and fly it over to him.
I splash into it.
Oh, God. Lucky in any magic. Wow. I can just imagine Lucky with what's the one which cleans you? And just
Prestidigitation.
yeah, just jumping into puddles and then jumping out and doing it again, and jumping in and jumping out, and jumping in, jumping out, jumping in. Yeah, all the time.
I was going to say I was going to use prestidigitation to keep myself dry and probably keep Bella dry. And I don't know if it's worth putting unlucky because he'll just get wet about 10 seconds later.
He'll deliberately jump into the puddles.
I'll keep his hat dry.
He would be amused, but he wouldn't stay dry.
I'll keep his hat dry. That's got to stay spiffy at least.
But hats are meant to actually catch the rain. That's why you have hats.
He's got a feather.
But that's why you have a hat.
All right.
Anyway.
You have a hat because you're a hero, and heroes wear hats with feathers.
So it's early morning. You're very tired because you haven't slept. Like, very, very tired because you haven't slept. What are you doing? Where are you going?
Well,
we happened to meet at this warehouse, didn't we?
Yes, you have.
I think this door might accidentally just open.
I'm not even going to get you to roll. There's 3 of the 4 of you with the ability to open the windows or doors, and you can get into the old warehouse, which thankfully is unused at the moment.
Okay, we'll arrange a couple like empty crates or whatever there is in a way that gives us some cover just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And then set up behind, nice and dry, and we can hear the raindrops fall on the roof. It's been a good day.
So the child that's been jumping.
I can't really imagine any way today could have turned out any better.
The child that's been jumping in and out of the puddles all morning has now made himself a fort out of boxes. Just wanted to point that one out. Just wanted to point that out.
I hadn't thought of that, but that's good.
Yeah. So you're going to probably try to sleep through the day. If you are up, you are going to get more levels of exhaustion, because it's.
I tell them about what the other rats found. That apparently the smell of the explosion, the little acrid smell, they all smelled it up on rooftops, and there are quite a few of them. But that's all the same smell at all the murder points.
And what's the other piece of information?
Don't remember.
The poison?
Poison.
Oh yeah, the poison. So either
Not important.
the people were poisoned, or the thing the guy used was poisoned.
A bit overkill, really.
Yeah.
If you're going to kill, make sure you kill.
I can't really think about it right now. I'm too tired. Gonna go to bed now. Good night.
I'll climb up into the rafters and make a bird nest and sleep in it. Out of whatever cloth rags they have in there.
Dandelion's quite a weird one. You can do it. I'm not saying. Just Dandelion's very strange.
Even in this group.
Even in this group, exactly.
I suppose they're perfectly normal.
# city druid things.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I've been in the jungle for so long, so it's weird to sleep on the ground. I'm so used to sleeping up in the trees.
Urban druid. Yeah.
And knowing that jungle, yeah, that's a smart way of doing it. I do miss Giblings, though. They were a fun monster for a GM. Whenever you want to party out of a forest fast, just throw a horde of Giblings. They run. Okay, so the day passes, you sleep. You wake up late in the afternoon, famished for food. And what is the plan?
Breakfast. We're a little off the clock here. I guess it's afternoon tea.
Yeah.
I'm rolling one of my few remaining hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, he never.
Okay, well.
It wasn't a good roll, too.
Find somewhere to eat.
Yeah,
And,
try to find food that.
First, we're going to change our disguises.
Mm-hmm.
Redisguise.
I'll still be a half elf, but I'll be a little shorter. And I'll have this big wart on one side of my nose.
A huge pimple.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone just wants to pop it, but
I'm just editing my my timeline to minus a day of everything. The nobles will have their own timeline ticking through. So, what are the plans for today? Or the afternoon and night, I should say. Late afternoon and night.
Well, once the disguises are in place, of course, we're going to go find a place to eat and discuss what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
So does that
All
mean
right, we got to make it quick this time, though. All right.
Yeah, we'll keep it to one course.
Yeah.
So you go to a town which don't.
So yeah, we'll go to a place. Give me all the bacon and eggs you have. Now, I'm worried that you misunderstood me by thinking I said give me a lot of bacon and eggs. Give me all the bacon and eggs.
Or else.
Or the Parks and Recs fans out there.
Haven't seen it, so sorry. Okay, I'm trying to find a symbol. No, it's not going to happen. I know I've got a tavern layout, but it's somewhere else. And a few other things are just having issues and conniptions. So you can find a tavern. It's only the one tavern that has your pictures and everything up on it. But you know that people don't always go to the same tavern. Even though you've got your disguises.
And we're all in disguise right now.
Yes, even though you've got your disguises, just saying that people don't always go to the same tavern. It does move. Like, people do move and people do things like that. Damn, I'm going to take off my animated graphics. It's not working. I had something set up for animated graphics. Damn, it's just flickering it. So you get a late afternoon lunch or early dinner. And what are the plans? You've done a little bit of searching. And
so
nothing
what do we
happened
do
last night.
now, Castle?
Yeah.
Our ally says he's not our ally anymore. That means we don't get his automation anymore.
You do notice that the script was you only saw it briefly, and it wasn't addressed to Lucky. It wasn't addressed to Bella. It wasn't addressed to, as in, it didn't land in front of Dandelion. This one landed in front of Castle, and it was a very direct way of handwriting. There wasn't any flowery flourishes or anything like that. It was a very direct print and handwriting.
That's weird, because one thing he's always done is he's always had lots of style.
I take the paper and I sniff it. Does it smell like perfume or anything like super extravagant? Okay, that's not my boss. I don't know who that is. Like, push me on the table. Like,
or he's trying to send us a message, because it did say to run. So I think there was some double speak. Maybe he's still our ally. Maybe we should contact him, because I think there's no way he would enter alliance without having perfume on the note. That is no way.
Immediately go outside and do animal messenger to call a bird.
Mm-hmm.
We received a message. We're not allies anymore. What'd I do? I thought it was working for you.
And after a time, because it always takes time, you get a reply. I did not send a message. Please explain.
Okay.
Oh, that was from someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm assuming you're sharing that message with us, but I don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Dandelion? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was who would have warned us to run?
Oh.
And everyone looks at Castle. Yeah.
The only person I can think of is our mutual friend from the Black Network.
The Black Network or the Gray Hands?
No, we know someone from the Black Network.
Yeah.
Too.
I don't know anything from Black Network.
The dwarf
Oh,
The female dwarf. Did the female dwarf have a beard?
Yes, we've gone through this.
Yes,
Okay.
unfortunately.
It was the first thing that they asked.
We thought of that. We did.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was
Be a
kind of
little
an
bit more
obvious
willing
thing
to shave
to
it.
wonder. Yeah.
I will say, in your we haven't actually addressed the fact that Cassell also spent a day researching the tower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we haven't-
that's important.
It isn't. Well, it is kind of important. So you spent a day in. Just unzoom that map that I've moved to the other one that I've got, so I can know which tower I'm talking about. The Tower of Ogma, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And of
Something
course,
to that at least.
my Roll20's just not liking to do anything right now. I'm going to log out of Roll20 and log back in, so I'll be right back. At least in game, but we're still going to be doing this. So the Tower of Ogma, which is it's the greatest library in the realms, and certainly the greatest library in Waterdeep. And if I can find the actual name of the library, it would be good, but it doesn't really matter too much. But you spent a day in the Halls of Knowledge, I believe it's called, trying to find information on essentially what's going on, and if anyone knew this. Okay, we're loading slowly back in. Good. And if anyone
It's the
knew
font of knowledge.
the font of knowledge, that's it.
Yeah.
The name of the location of this tower, or at least the name of maybe the tower's owner, Alexanar. And going through the records, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of there's a lot of as in histories and stories about Waterdeep, stories about adventurers. There's also some on locations and wards and things like that, and also like prominent nobles or prominent people of Waterdeep. So where would Cassell probably look for first?
I'd probably start by looking for anything I could find on the name for the treasure trove. There's a name that we refer to it by.
The
I
dragon
can't remember
Heist. Oh, sorry.
Treasure.
Horde of Dragons.
Yeah, that.
There's stuff there. Or actually, no, there's no records of that.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a secret that only a few people know about, and those people are also actively trying to seek it.
Okay. In that case, Cassell would look for probably compile a list of all the towers that he thinks would be suitable for hiding the horde or the.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You've got a name.
There.
You've got a name.
Oh, I have a name.
Alexanar. It's just the. So I'll read out the diary entry about this. Under the Tower of Alexanar, I have not heard of this mage. It must be in the city. He could not transport the dragons out of the city. And that was in the journal. There's also something else in the journal about a dragon, but that's something so totally different. So there's only a name of the tower called of Alexanar. And the speculation there was a mage. And that's where you're sent off to do your research.
Yeah. So I'm looking for. Let's see if I can find like a legal, like a old building directory with all the buildings. Find the towers, see if there's any previous entries under Alexanar, and do the same thing for registered magic users. If there's anybody by the name of Alexanar.
So that the city is pure bureaucracy, and you're going to its strongest point and also its weakest point, the red tape. The city, the city records, essentially.
Yes, precisely.
It's a good thing Castle is sent to do this.
I think we actually talked about checking out the registered magic users last session, and it was supposed to be not something we were going to be able to get access to.
Generally, you won't be able to get access to that, but this location will have essentially an old record of locations, not the current registered magic users and that side of bureaucracy, because that's the city. This is a private, which have bought old stuff. So you spend the whole day searching through old maps, anything that refers to mage or tower, anything that talks about that, and you do see like there's a lot of towers which are referenced in one map and then disappeared off another. The name Alexinar doesn't turn up in that one day's search. I will ask you to do a search though to see if anything else, or it may actually turn up depending on how your search roll does. An investigation probably, or anything bureaucracy, anything that you can justify
I'll do
as a roll.
Yeah.
An investigation 10, yeah. So the name of Alexinar doesn't turn up in that initial day's searching, but you do notice that there are some towers around. Each district has several old towers that either the mage itself, his name or her name, has just passed away in history and has been forgotten, as then referred to as different names. And I mean, even the or have been repurposed into things like a small warehouse or housing or even taverns, and then have been burnt down. So there's been a lot of changes in the history. So in one day of searching, you couldn't find the place specifically, but at least you know that there's a lot of towers that either the names have been lost or the mages have been lost, and it's going to take more research to track down. It's going to take time.
Okay.
So I wanted to go, oh yeah, we did that, and bring that back. So because it's important, because it's one of the keys not a key, but one of the things we're trying to find. And the Casselanter note should be available to you to look at. That's the journal that we're talking about. They referred to of what was stolen. Apparently it's got spelling mistakes. Okay, so where are we? We're looking for... we're back in the afternoon. You found out that it wasn't your new ally that's saying that that they're abandoning you. It must have been a previous ally, or a previous employer. You just don't know which one.
I mean,
Yeah, there's a few people it could be, actually.
yeah, I was about to say.
Could be the dwarf. Could be... Yeah, we knew the noble or the son of the guy who left
Those magic people.
Yeah.
There's a few.
I mean, they hadn't paid us yet.
Oh no!
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody else is all that important an ally to us right now than the one. So whoever it is, it's not the end of the world.
Being paid won't be an issue if we find what we're looking for.
That's right.
Really? So
Okay.
what's the plan?
Here's my thoughts.
Brandishing scissors at us.
Yeah, here's
I'm
my
brandishing
thought.
scissors.
Whoops.
Here are my thoughts.
We're talking about the beardless dwarf. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, actually, I was not thinking about the beardless dwarf, but these could help with that. No, what I'm thinking is that we're racing against Casselanter, right? Casselanter.
Yeah. They're baddies.
So they're probably ahead of us at this point. I mean, we can assume that they have a drow hand and probably a construct. And we know they're looking for a beardless dwarf. We got to assume that they're closer than we are right now.
Yeah.
And since we're being chased by the city, I don't think we can catch up to them very easily. So I think we need to set them back. I think we should go and try and steal this, or at least see if the silver greatsword is nearly done. And if so, we should try and get it before they do.
Yeah. I had a thought on that one. Because they have to send a messenger to tell the baddies that they got the sword ready. Now, I'm betting that messenger, usually they'll probably just pay kids who are nearby in the alley, like, hey, give you a couple coppers to take this to there. If we could have some kids in our employ that message comes to us instead of to them, then we could pick up the sword and then whoosh. What do you think?
I like it. I like the idea. A couple of logistical things. We need to be in a stationary space. We can't be moving around all the time so that they know where to bring the message to.
Unless we just have a space they could leave the message.
But we also need a spot to keep the sword safe, because walking around with a big sword is going to stand out a lot.
We do. We have a spot in our lobster.
Oh yeah.
Crafts!
Which is outside of the city.
I've thought of everything.
The lobster is outside of the city.
But we could move it. You know, we could have it just under the water somewhere near the docks. And then you have to swim down.
But then you can't get into it without letting a bunch of water in.
Yeah, but we could have it all open, so the water's all in it. And if we needed to, we go down, bloop, 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 and then we bring it back up, and then the water all pours out of it.
I can destroy water.
Yeah, but not that much water.
No, but
I'd
water
be
will
using a lot of
spill
spell
out.
slots, but I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
I also have shape water. I can just slowly move it out.
But I mean, isn't that way north of the city and like a bunch of trees or something?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while
Yeah, it is.
to get down to the docks.
Yeah, we'd have to get there, but we could get there.
Yeah.
It's a safe space, or we could just park it somewhere closer. There's other places outside the city that are closer to where we are now, right? So we could move it by, I don't know, by the south gate or something like that. Then it's not too far to get to.
It's
by the construction of the Umberly Temple. Yay! Which is just outside the south gate. Sorry, go.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's not a bad idea though to have like our base be the lobster, and just like work out of the dock sword.
Makes us maneuverable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least on the west side of the city.
So
It's just something that we've had. We haven't got to use it, and let's just face it, the lobster's fun.
I mean, we went to all that work.
I think Tamora gave us that lobster for a reason, and that reason was so we could live in it.
Yep.
It was very cramped. I will point out it was very cramped.
Lucky and Bella are used to crab spaces. Castle and
no,
Dandelion will
not-
have to get used to it.
Not living in a lobster.
I just sit on top of it. Oh wait, no, I don't have that.
No, I'd definitely get cramps, and I know what
If I was
that's like.
one level higher, I could breathe water for 24 hours, but I'm not that level yet.
Actually, I think the write-up did say it allowed more people, so I don't think it might be as cramped as I thought. Magical.
We're gonna live out of the lobster.
Yes.
And we're gonna eat lobster inside of the lobster.
And let's see the guards find us there.
Does it say about people? It does say about people. I just can't remember where it is. People used apparatus. 10 hours of air, though. That's an issue.
10 hours of air? That's lots.
Yeah.
But split among.
So we could actually sleep underwater.
Trying to see how many people
we
it moves.
should.
Yeah, we'd have to cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we'd get some sleep.
Well,
Somebody-
if it's 10 hours for all the passengers, then that's more than a long
Then it's-
rest.
Right. But I don't think it is 10 hours for all passengers.
So 10 hours
No.
for one passenger and then split.
I would say so, yeah.
Split 4 ways.
Which is why
Yeah.
you're having to surface, then go back down, and then surface.
So instead of posting a watch, you have one person who on each watch brings it up, has it recycle the air, and brings it back down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so safe. So safe. Maybe we could park it under one of these docks.
So you're just coming up underneath the docks, and no one's going to see you because you're underneath the dock itself.
Yeah. Like just barely, just have the top
Yeah.
Yeah.
over the surface.
But the
We
stop
could even
the
throw
surface,
some,
but you got a dock
throw
on
some
top of the
seaweed
top.
over it or something like that, right?
So is that the plan for the day?
I mean,
Have
it's
you-
late
Well,
afternoon.
That's what Lucky pitches to Castle. So
I like the idea.
Mhm.
It'll work until we get scryed on again.
Mhm.
I will say this, it will really piss off a scry.
well,
Let's
yeah,
do
good luck.
it.
Good luck. They'll scry, and what will they see? They'll see us inside an apparatus of Qualish.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah.
Well, apparently in water somewhere.
Yep.
Well, the Forgotten
you
Realms
zoom
isn't
out.
that big.
You zoom out and it's like, wait, they're where?
Yeah. Go ahead and send the guards. They're in water somewhere in the Forgotten Realms. How much room can there be? How much water can there be?
So it's going to take pretty much the rest of the day. It's going to be nighttime by the time you even get to your crab.
Now, do we want to split?
Transport.
Do we want to split, or do we want to go as a group? Do we want
I
to
think
split, or do we want to go as a group?
I kind of want to stay here with my rat friends and scout out, just keep an eye on this radius of area, and then we can meet each other here. And then you guys can go while you're up in the going towards the.
If you find the Drow, don't do anything, because it might be a tough fight for one.
Yeah, I'll make
one
sure
person.
I will stay as an animal in disguise. I won't engage.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
I think
tail him.
that's smarter.
I have a suggestion.
Mm.
We split up so Dandelion is staying with the rats, and then maybe the halflings go north up to the crab or the lobster.
Yes.
Stop by and go get talk to the street urchins around the villa. You know,
I think
Bribe
that's
them.
a good idea.
set that up.
I think I should talk to the urchins around the villa.
I think the pair of you will do fine.
Around the
Ah.
villa or around the alley?
We tend to do better when Bella doesn't say anything.
You two
and-
handle that,
Okay, we got it.
and I'll go scour the books some more. Those are my
And then-
thoughts.
And then I'll point at a dock. That dock there. Meet us underneath that dock. We'll be there
Alright.
as soon as we can.
All right.
It's going to be pretty much morning by the time you get there. As in dawn, you'll be arriving. And again,
Okay.
you'll be very tired.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you won't
Okay.
be because you're moving your whole day-night cycle to the opposite. You're sleeping during the day and... Okay.
We'll be still ready for bed, but yeah, we won't have been pushing it too much, I don't think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Well, let's take a break now before we get into those role-playing aspects. So we don't go the entire thing like we did last time without a break. Though we did start an hour late last week, so let's take a quick break now. We will get into the urchins, the rat friends, and the research. Okay. I just do like the fact that you're splitting up the party, but The halflings are in disguise. Dandelion says, like, I'm assuming going to be rat disguise for the most part. The only one that's not actively being hunted is doing the stuff which you can do without being hunted. So, Castle, you're the only one that's not actively got an arrest warrant out for you. So you're actually doing the official stuff, which is a really good, yeah. It's also
Granted,
definitely...
he's been missing his parole.
Oh yeah, that's been
Oh
done
yeah,
too.
I'm not being hunted.
Yeah.
I'll probably stop by and pay off my fee for becoming a registered magic user. Since I'm not being hunted.
Yeah.
I think I still have 40 or 50 gold to go. So I'll just get that load off my chest. That's been really weighing me down.
Yeah. Okay, there's also the parole issue as well. So if you turned up to the parole, you can deal with that. I'm pretty sure Bella's went, fuck it.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I think Bella decided, oh shit, we're not going to do the parole. It's just something else on top of everything else.
Bureaucracy pushed a little too far. Castle's gone over the edge.
Yeah.
Renegade.
He's gone rogue.
Chaotic.
Because that would have meant reporting again to the other side of the city, and then coming back every day, which takes up a few hours of your day. I love the fact the city's so huge; it actually makes a thing. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back shortly. Again, thank you for the follow. I cannot pronounce your name though. The little P Whisper, Lispy. Oh, is it Lispy Whisper? I think that might be it. But thank you for the follow. Thanks for that. Very much appreciated. We'll be back shortly. Stick around, and we'll have more of the Blades of Waterdeep as they're being hunted. So, bye for now. Let's go to mute and. Hi, we're back. Welcome to the show. Welcome back, everybody. We are here. Sorry for the delay. We tend to kind of just get talking about stuff, and we have to try to remember to actually get back to the game because, yeah, we're social people, and it's fun to talk about stuff, but also let's get back into the seriousness of everything, I think. So who wants to go first in our adventures? We have 3 different places, 3 different things.
Let's get the boring stuff out of the way first. I'll go.
Okay. I didn't know which one you'll think is the boring one.
Was there any
The
questions?
I
the
figured
most
mine.
exciting thing happens now.
Yes.
He runs into Casselanter.
He runs into him at the library. He needed to do some research too.
I'll just throw an Eldritch Blast his way and we'll take him out right quick. Not
Yeah.
end of the campaign.
What's the save for Maze? Wait, no, there isn't one. That's right. Thank you, Trent Monk. You do amazing guides. You came very useful.
You're not supposed to use them against me.
It just so happened
you
it was
need-
you.
No, you need to put a warning like at the beginning of the thing. My DM is not allowed to watch this.
I will say that it wasn't just that spell that I changed. I changed other spells in his list.
I appreciate that you didn't kill me outright with a damage spell.
No. No. So the font of knowledge. On the way there's talk of again that one of the biggest festivals is coming up. You can hear that on the streets. That's the Founders' Day is coming up in about 10 days. So we're fairly abstract in time in this game. So it's about 10 days time that the Founders' Day is happening, and that's essentially the celebration of the founding of Waterdeep itself. So there's a lot of talk on the street and a lot of people talking about, what are you going to wear, what celebration, what festival are you going to, what party are you going to, things like that. And are you going to watch the parades, etc., etc. And as you go higher and higher through the city, the talk also goes into which lords are having the best parties and whatnot. And again, you hear the thing of the Casselanters having a big gala for all the people that bank with them, and also are throwing a special event for the poor of the people. Sorry, the poor of the city. So as you're going through the city, this is what you hear, and everybody hears these things. So it's not just for Cassel on his way to the Font of Knowledge. In the Font of Knowledge, it's not a busy place. It really isn't. It's a quiet place of retrospective, which is why the 2 halflings were asked not to come back, essentially.
I wasn't there.
Who was there? Who was it that did it? It was just Lucky.
All
was it?
3 of them were there. I was
Okay.
elsewhere. I think is when I stole that gold from the place that Maloon War Dragon was in. I had to
Okay.
go stash it.
Okay. So the Font of Knowledge, again, it's a quiet place of research, and there's a lot of there. And you don't see Casselanter in the Font of Knowledge. He's not there. It's okay. You also don't see anyone with acid burns on their forearms. But where are you searching this time? Is it the same along the lines of locations of towers, or are you going to try to find other areas of interest?
I did not have the access to the list of registered magic users, correct?
No, that will be in the actual city of Waterdeep bureaucracy, the castle of Waterdeep. Last time they said, "Oh, let's do that." And it's like, no, it's going to be under like a lot of protective walls of this is our bureaucracy. We protect our paperwork. So the font of knowledge is more of the older stuff in the city, and more of the like maps and things like that. No problem. That's easily accessed for like a library to buy up.
Okay. I suppose I'm gonna now that I can see the note, I'm going to try to see if I can research like past incursions or experiences the city has had with dragons, since this note seems to reference dragons multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Well, you also know dragon is the currency of a gold piece is a dragon.
Oh, right.
So remember that. So I know a lot of the references on dragons there is because that's what they're talking about, the gold.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yes.
So they're essentially calling it like gold hoard.
Well, a horde of dragons is a horde of gold.
Yeah, so they're
Yes, because
it's a horde of gold.
Because the coin in Waterdeep, the gold coin of Waterdeep, has a dragon on it, so it's called a dragon.
It's just like calling it a horde of dollars.
Yeah, a horde of gold.
Just amuses me.
Yeah, and Dragon
Because I have
Heist.
a bad sense of humor.
Yeah, and Waterdeep Dragon Heist as the campaign is the dragons are the gold. So yeah. So doing research, once again, investigation of, or perception, or probably less perception, but anything you can realistically explain of how you're doing. No, you're
I'll
not
do
heist and
investigation again.
Okay.
I have proficiency, so
No, you're not heisting actual dragons. It's not happening.
Aw,
Not happening.
not even the little ones.
Yeah.
Bunch of gold pseudo.
So in your investigation, you do find out, like you do hear the stories of the protections of the city, and that in years gone past, there was times where dragons would fight over the city. Both good and bad dragons will be fighting in the city itself. And so to stop this from happening, there's a protection that covers the entirety of the city. And there's essentially it bars all dragons from entering the city. And this has also been mentioned by the young bronze dragon in the water outside the city, that he has troubles getting in, or at least that he can't get in. And it does mention that there's also a staff or a wand that was created at that time as a backup to allow the person holding the staff into the city.
okay.
But it doesn't like what you found with your investigation of 14 doesn't go further into either where that is, what the name of it is, or why it was made. But there's essentially a back door of there's a certain staff, a magical item or wand or something that allows a single person holding it, or a single dragon in this case holding it, to get into the city and stay.
Okay.
There was also another mention that in before the times of the actual protections, that there was a notice that the treasury used to be guarded by a dragon, and that every month or every week, it's a bit unsure, that the payment for the dragon would take one piece of gold from the city and put it into his own hoard in the vault. So
Okay.
That's old second edition stuff. So yeah, that's what you can find out about that side of things. Anything else you would like to investigate, or anything else, areas, or?
I can't really think of anything right now, so
Okay. Well, if you think of something, we can come back to you. We can do more.
okay.
Okay. Who wants to go next? We have rats, or we have short people? We can't hear that. I think you're muted, or we are not hearing you. There we go.
Rats? Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay.
Dandelion? Nick?
All right. So most of mine, because I'm gonna use some ritual spells, speaking to animals,
Yep.
finding animals. But this time, I also prepared my ritual detect poison and disease. So I'm going to speak with. I'm going to set up, because we don't know how long it's going to take to find this guy. I'm just going to speak with the rat colonies and have them search around the city at night. But during the day, I'll ask like the seagulls to keep like a watch above, like during the day, for anything suspicious.
Or
But,
anyone or anyone on top of rooftops. More to the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an interesting way of doing things,
And-
yeah.
And I'm going to have some stray dogs, if I can find any. I have a locate animal prepared. So it's a lot of hiding in corners and making sure guards don't find me this entire time.
And casting
ritual
rituals.
spells. Yeah. And I'm going to have some dogs sniff out the smell. And I realized Druidcraft, I can recreate senses, like smells and stuff, as long as it's not harmful. So I'm going to recreate the same odor of the thing that I smelled, so that they smell it and have them like track the smell while I go around and try to track this poison, which is only in a radius of 30 feet from me.
Wow.
But I've got a bunch of animals working together.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of ritual casting.
Yeah. So I think my entire thing's going to take all day while they're going through that thing.
Well, you're starting the
to
late
get prep.
afternoon. That's the thing. You're starting the late afternoon, so this is a lot of work. But I can see where you're coming with it. One thing though, are the animals going to be instantly your friends just because you can talk to them?
No, but I do have animal friendship, but I didn't prepare it. So I will have to do a bit of persuasion or animal handling with some scraps of food.
Okay, well that was the
I'll
next.
probably have to actually buy some.
That was the next part I was going to. How are you bribing the animals? And how much are you bribing the animals? So it's going to be food for the bribes?
Yeah. So I will have
Did they
to
take gold?
get out of hiding to go buy food.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to take gold. I don't. Well, some animals do shiny, but I think food is
Crows
probably
like
more
shiny.
universal. And for the seagulls,
I know seagulls.
Fish.
Seagulls will love some food and they'll take whatever.
yeah, but fish as well. And it's easy to find throwaway fish in this area too. So what we're going to do, how we're going to do this, investigations, and well, actually, for the poison detection, I will say this as something that comes out of this one. Something that keeps on coming up when you're walking around with the poison detection, because it's only 30 feet and it only lasts for 10 minutes, is that it actually is coming up a different poison that you're expecting, because it's all poisons, or is it just one specific one? It's all, I believe.
I have a poisoner's kit, so I can try to identify the one that I found, and so I can focus on a specific one.
Okay, so you're not just doing it all, you're actually trying to focus one?
Yeah, I think it only does one at a time, because I know with to be able to cure poisons, I can only do it one at a time. So I think I can only do it one at a time.
Okay, because I was going to say, when you initially cast it, before you initially cast it, then you try to find down, something peculiar actually turns up when you cast a spell, is that you feel that something underneath you is poisoned. You feel like there's a river of poison underneath you. And then you just focus that out, and then focus on the poison specifically of what you're trying to think of. So that comes up when you do your detect poison. And it's every time you cast that, you feel that there's like a river or something underneath you flowing with poison. And then you just dismiss that and just focus on the individual one and the version of poison that you're doing. And again, it's not an easy one to find because that point, like, it's a very, very insignificant, and like there's only trace amounts going around. The animals are just scattering. If you give them food and you're being nice to them, they will think, yay, we'll do this. We get food. We get food. So that's going to be a problem, where the fact that they will just do anything for that food for some point. So you start getting reports of, oh, we smelt this, or we did that, or we saw this, or we've done that, and they're just coming back for food. Like for some part, I mean, it's not going to be all of them, but some of the animals are just going to come back for food and give you false information, and you're going to spend some of your time investigating those informations falsely.
Because I
Yep.
Because I worked on the Heartbreaker with the circus animals.
Yes.
Could I possibly recognize that
trait? I'll
as them?
with an animal handling, yes. And we can remove that part of the night's exercise, because you do not. You
No,
do not with
I'm
one.
just like giving out food. Like, sure, you want food? Oh, you poor animal. You look starving. Here, let me give you extra.
Yeah, and they'll come back. They'll come back after a little bit and, oh, we found this. Can we have some more food? And it's like, oh, we found this. Can we have more food? And you get a large gathering of animals, like they've told their friends.
Just like the lady of the pigeons.
Yeah, but it's not pigeons. It's rats. So it's
Rats and seagulls and some dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe a few cats.
Yeah. So maybe another night when you can notice that, it may be a bit more effective. But tonight is just mostly going to be a lot of giving out food. But on the upside, you're getting a very big network very quickly because you're giving out a lot of food.
So I'm spending maybe 3 times as much as I was expecting.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like 4 gold.
Yeah.
That I had.
Yeah. So in that case, you are going to build a network very quickly. And if you do call for it again, they're going to all answer very quickly. Exactly. But tonight passes uneventfully without any... Well, you do notice that, like, some of the things you do get told is that the smells are more prominent throughout the place. The acrid smell, there's a lot more locations and a lot more far flung. It's not just this location. There's other areas, but mostly in this area, of course. And the poison smell, you don't get anything, like, it's a very faint smell, and it's only in those same locations, and essentially in the same location of where the event happened is the only location that it's smelt in. There's no trace elements anywhere else.
Okay. Most of them just keeping it up just in case I like bump into him on the street while he's disguised or something.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. One thing you also notice is that there's not very many half-elven sailors walking around the streets. It's almost none. It's mostly a human profession around here.
Well, a few that there are cold.
Well, but you also notice that, well, there's as you're going through. No, you're not really interacting with people anyway, so I won't give you other information because you're interacting with animals.
I just got food from people, so I'm just going to the fish markets, buying food, and then immediately going to the animals as they're waiting, following me around.
We'll do a day 100 and see, just as a random roll. Because you do actually, as I said, you're doing some... 48 again for you. No. I think the last D100 I did was about the same. So there's no other information that you're getting from that. So we'll deal with the short people, unless you've got any other ideas. But I'll say, you've got a large network of people, of animals searching, and they're going to keep on searching, and they're going to keep coming back to you. It's just going to cost you more in food, because, yeah, you may just have to try to direct them a bit more with some more animal handling, because otherwise they just think you're going to give food, and they're playing you for the food really playing you right now. So we move to our short people. Where are we going? Are we going to the Lord's residence, or to the villa, or to the manor house? As into, which one are you doing?
I think we're going up to Troll Skull Manor, or that Troll Skull Alley anyway.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk to some urchins first.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're both in disguise.
Mm-hmm. Because the talk before was to go to the villa of the Lord to try to talk to the urchins, which I was a bit confused about. But
no, we want to talk to the urchins outside of the Genesis blacksmith.
Yeah.
Or the weaponsmith.
Yeah. Okay. So can I get a disguise roll from both of you? Because you are... Yeah. This is your home territory. This is going to be... We're definitely going to be recognised by the law. So a 13 for Lucky Deep Burrow.
Whee!
And a 3 from...
I'm not liking her roll.
From Bella.
So yeah. It turns out her disguise actually looks really convincing.
Yeah.
Lucky.
I mean, I do have the sky self, but
in accordance with my alignment, I must point out that it has a range and target of self.
Yes. So it's just she disguises Lucky, and it just seems to work out just really good this time.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. They disguise each other. They cross it across. That's right.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. So my disguise on her was okay, and her disguise on me was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, you're so good.
Oh boy.
I'm getting better at this.
You're always good.
Totally not.
Always so good.
Totally not.
Someday I'll be as good at it as you are.
I mean, you're pretty good, but I mean,
thank you. That's really kind of you to say.
So you know.
I wouldn't even know I'm a halfling anymore. I look like a gnome. How did you get my bone structure to change like that? That's
so good. And Bella was like, "But I was trying for a goblin."
I was trying for a goblin, but but
the makeup wants what it wants.
and the makeup, you don't even have those makeup colors that you just. Oh well. So Troll Skull Alley. You know the area. You know a lot of the urchins actually died in the fireball. But there are others in the area. You do know that.
I assume some new ones have moved in because it's an alley.
It is an alley, yes.
Yep.
There's no more halflings that are just playing on the street corners. There's a few kids that are still around. There's a few people that you recognise from the area. There's especially one which Bella recognises from the area that found something from a certain fireball incident. And
so I'll do the talking.
Yeah. He's dressed a lot nice at the moment.
Maybe you just, no way.
And he's got a nice, and he does have a nice dagger on his belt for a kid, and he's got a big, fancy, almost fancy cloak for an urchin. It's rough. It's been treated badly. But for an urchin, he's looking good.
I paid him.
Nowhere near the value of that item.
It's not my fault that he didn't negotiate that price.
I'm guessing, usually when you have street kids, there might be one that looks like they're kind of in charge.
I
assume it's the one with the stuff.
Probably, but I just want
to
see
previously
if
he wasn't.
Needs to be the dynamic.
Although previously he wasn't. Now that he got some money, he's moved into someone in charge.
See,
Okay.
I love this kid. See,
I think you should just maybe go over there and I'll talk to him. I don't know if he'll recognize your voice, but I think it's probably a good idea that he doesn't hear it at all. I don't think he'll know who you are because you look different.
Yeah. So 12-year-old boy who is, as I said, he's dressed. His cloak is finer than probably should be, but it's been treated very poorly. He's got a vest, which is again probably was bought nice, but again has been treated poorly. He still looks like he's sleeps rough, but he doesn't treat what he does like what his clothing is like he really would if he was sleeping inside.
Okay,
And-
I'm going to approach him and like, hi.
He's also got a little bowler cap as well.
Oh, I like a bowler cap.
Yeah.
I always appreciate someone who likes a good hat. Come here.
So he comes over, looks a bit sure of himself. It's like, oh, hi, welcome to my alley. What can I do for you?
You look like somebody who is good at or who appreciates a deal that involves some good payoff. And I have a deal like that for you.
I'm a bit partial for a good coin or two, or three, or four. And looks at your
like
hat.
Looks
Or
like you've
more.
made some good deals in the past. I got a deal that's going to outweigh all of them for you.
I may have made it good from a recent tragedy in the location, but had nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me at all. And he extends his hand. Martin Track, how are you going?
Hi, nice to meet you. I got something for you, and I palm a gold dragon into his hand.
And he pulls it back and just subtly looks down and is like, and your name?
Don't worry about my name. This is what I want.
He holds out
This
his
is-
other
this-
hand as if waiting for you don't.
Oh, there's you
Extra
keep
for
that
no
hand out.
names.
You keep that hand out because I'm going to make it a very happy hand at the end of our conversation.
But I'd like to know who I'm dealing with.
Well, I think it's best for all of us if you don't.
And hence,
All right, I put a gold
no
coin
names
into
cost
the other
extra.
hand.
He
Okay,
puts it together.
I put a gold coin into the other hand, and then I shake a very full sack of coins.
He takes your hands and says, "Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Johnson."
There is many more where those came from, and a lot of these are headed your way. When you hear what I need from you, you're going to be so happy because it's going to be so easy.
Oh.
You see that shop right there?
And he looks down. It's like, yeah, the Smiths. I know.
Yeah,
them.
once in a while they hire a kid off the street to send a message. I'm sure you've done that for them before, or you've had one of your friends do that for them before.
When I was younger and more in need of cash, yes.
Yeah, but you
More
see
need
them
of
do
food.
it.
Yes.
Well, they're going to send a message soon, and that message is going to say something about a silver greatsword. If that message gets to me rather than to its intended target, you may find yourself a very wealthy little boy. And whoever took that message and all your friends
He kind
will
of
be
gets
well off too.
when you say little boy,
Yeah.
he's affronted to that as if he was insulted by that comment. Like really, like it just like his demeanor goes from the nice and solid to that.
I don't
Angry.
mean little as an insult. Look who's talking to you. Little is a badge of honor.
I'm no longer a boy. I'm a man. I have a business. I have people that work for me.
Okay. That
I
makes sense.
I know there's quite a few halflings in the alley. I
I
understand.
know you're not always going to be little. I'm always going to be little. But little is good.
Some of my friends were
It's not-
halflings before they blew up recently.
Yeah. That made me very sad. I have 50 of these dragons for you and your friends. 50.
Billy just collapses.
And so this we make sure that whoever gets hired is one of us.
This message does not get to its intended target. It gets to me instead. And once I have that sword, that is when you get the pay.
Well, wouldn't the message be when we get paid? We give you the message instead of the intended target, whoever that is.
The only way I know that that message is genuine is after I receive the sword. Because when I go there to collect the sword and it's available and ready for me, then I know the message you gave me is genuine. And that's when it's worth 50 dragons. Agreed?
Agreed.
I'm sure you agree that the offer is generous.
I think
Okay.
it's generous.
So, there is, if you go down 3 blocks, there's a crate. I'm going to take you there. And that is where you're going to leave the message. I'm going to check it every night. And I take him to a spot I've predetermined that is kind of hidden, that he could just drop it, and then I'll check it each night to see if it's there.
Yeah. It's a long way to get up to this part of the city, then back down every night, though. I will say that.
Okay, well, maybe I'll go for but then they're kids. I don't want to send them all the way across the city either.
You do know there's a lot of people in the pretty much the entire lamplighting guild are children.
Okay.
That's
then
how
I
most
will have
work.
them send it to a crate that is closer to where we are.
Yeah.
And I'll say, you drop it there. I'll be checking it. I will check this every night. As soon as it's there, I'm going to go collect the sword. Once the sword's collected, that 50 dragons is yours.
Yeah.
And you can distribute it amongst your employees as you will, or not. It's really up to you. I have no business in your business, just as you have no business in my business. And we will depart as friends.
As it should be, and possible future business partners.
Very likely. Okay, and I shake his hand.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Johnson.
And you too. And that's it.
His eyes
Then
are
I am
lights
going
up.
to go around, and I'm actually going to sneak into Troll Skull Manor, because I have unfinished business there too.
Are you going in the front door, the back door, or the...
Do I see guards?
Well, at the front door, and at the side door, and even at the at the front door of the actual tavern, there is guard, and there is all 3 wanted posters. At the back door, there's a guard to that little alley section, so there's a guard there as well, and also there's a guard at the entrance to the residence, and again on every door has those 3 posters.
Is the tavern open?
The tavern's not open.
It's not open.
As in
I mean open for business, not open.
No.
I'm going to leave it. Nope. Going to leave that one. Okay. All right, I go back to Bella.
Who's been sitting at the back trying to avoid talking to anyone.
Think I got it worked out. Okay, let's go get a crab.
Are you sure? I felt a terrible pain in my heart.
Lots of money. You know that he was talking to the exact person that you took the necklace off.
Yes, I know. I'm so proud of that child.
And afterwards, as the conversation goes off, he goes and starts speaking to the children in the area.
Fully you being got to start like that, Lucky.
I think your friend is a smart and upcoming businessman.
Businessman.
See, it was a good thing. It was very lucky for him that.
It was. It sure was.
Do you maybe remember how much you gave him for the necklace of fireballs?
6. I gave him some tolls. I want to say like maybe 3 or 6.
Yeah. For an item worth market value, 1,250 gold. Thereabouts. Depending on, like, as the minimum amount of... Yeah.
First off,
And then he's going to get
That
50
was a
gold
necklace.
for a piece of paper.
Yes.
So he's doing okay.
Yeah.
first off, that necklace wasn't full, so you gotta hike down the market value.
No,
All right.
That's with the minimum.
I let Bella know exactly what crate he's going to leave it in, like what the deal is. So we got to check that crate every night for that message.
All right.
And then we can get the sword, and Batty doesn't get the sword. We win.
Yeah,
Okay.
roughly.
And you head
Up
out of the
Up
city.
to the lobster or a crab or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
It's nighttime by the time you get up to there. It's still there. It's it's actually quite difficult with only 2 people to get all of the branches and all of the bits off the crab. And then you get the idea of...
Can we use the pinchers?
That's
to remove?
exactly what I was going to say. I was
Yes!
saying, and then you get the idea of just getting inside and using the crab to move it off itself. And
Absolutely.
you slowly crab walk out of the forest, avoiding all the other branches and trees. You go out across to the ocean, across the main road, having to wait until there's no traffic coming close, then cross down onto the beach and then into the ocean and slowly work your way down, which pretty much takes all damn night. Surfacing every now and then. But you don't have to surface very
food on
often.
the way to the crab.
Yes. Yes.
with
On our
us.
way out, we'll definitely have our packs full of some good lunch. Sandwiches. Those are good.
And it will be all gone by the time we get to that dock.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty much dawn by the time you get there, because it's a long way. It's not a fast ship.
Mm.
But fun.
Oh boy.
Once in a while, we get detoured a little bit as I chase fishes.
Until that pesky dragon starts chasing you.
Come here, fishy!
No!
So at least you figured out the 10 levers, so we don't have to go through that again. And it's dawn by the time you arrive. Is there any more investigations you're looking for in the library?
No, there was nothing else I could think of. So
Okay. So essentially at dawn, you emerge from the library and it's like just rubbing your eyes like, wow, have I been there all night? And you make your way down south to the docks, to the specific dock where the crab was going to be not really docked, but hidden underneath. Is there any dock you're actually specifically going to do? Like,
I'm thinking this. I'm going to ping it.
got to zoom out then. Okay, down there. Yep.
Yeah, that's right about in the middle of where we want to be, and it's not a particularly conspicuous dock, so right there.
So there's your crab hidden underneath that dock. So, and it's pretty much right in where your search area is, so it's not too bad, and it's not on the main ship street, but it's off kind of an alley on Dock Street. Or Dock Street's less prominent. And right near Cod Lane, which has a bar, of course. Has to have a bar.
Yeah, we
Very
are
important.
convenient. Luckily, we are conveniently located next to a tavern.
The Mermaid's Arms.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes, it's not a tavern, but more of a fest hall, so food, drink, less.
It all sounds good.
Yep. So I'm guessing you're sleeping through the day again. And what's the plan for the night?
All right. So, if we've slept all day, do we want to hunt for the? Do we want to hunt for this Drow again? What do you think? What should we do? Castle?
Well, let's see. Yes.
Leader.
Silver, the great sword. We've hopefully taken care of. Hopefully, we managed to.
Yeah, we need to check the crate every night. So
Get control of that.
First, we should check the crate just to make sure it's empty.
Mm-hmm. The other things we need are the hand of a drow, a construct, and a beardless dwarf.
Yep. I mean,
I think
Still
we got the construct taken care of, but we still have
We
to
did.
hunt down this Drow.
All right, I think the drow is. We could do that, or we could do the beardless dwarf, but
Yeah.
the drow
I
seems
think-
much.
I
Much
think
easier
the
to
beardless
find.
dwarf might be easier. Because we
Yeah,
can always just, find
become friends
ourselves
with
a
one.
dwarf. And,
It is.
Capture a dwarf.
What was that? Kill? Or was that knockout? Or was that a shave?
I just did that. You can interpret it how you will.
Chaotic evil.
Interpret it as per your
True
own
villain.
alignment.
Okay, so as far as Bella is concerned, that means kill.
I don't know, neutral high five?
It doesn't specify a live drawer. Just the beardless
Well,
one.
it would be far better to bring him in alive
Yes.
for multiple reasons.
But if
A
we
dwarf
find
might
a
agree
dead
to help
dwarf-
us too. You never know. Sometimes a dwarf just takes a liking to you for no reason at all.
But yeah, we should check the box and find the severed drow, or obtain a severed drow hand.
Mhm.
I'm on that with my animal companions. They were a bit distracted today, mostly focused on kids doing them, but they are widely spread out, so they're bound to find something at some point.
Thank you, Bookish Spider, for the follow. It's very much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the show. So checking the barrel or the crate, and then what?
We're looking for this Drow.
Okay. I'm just
And
going
then
to
a
tick off
dwarf.
my days.
I just like
Because-
my idea that we trick him that he was never shaven in the first place by putting a disguise on him. A fake beard. And
It's
we
a
just rip it
dim-
off when we need to.
But it's a different color, and it doesn't have all the food that's picked up over the years.
We could
Yeah.
put some food in it.
That seems like a waste of food.
It does. But
I feel like there's a lot of problems with that.
I-
Just the weight of the beard. You probably feel the beard waggle as you talk.
I just think
You could
one
touch
way or
it.
the other, beardless dwarf is the last one we get.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so going through my tracker, there's no note to say that there's a note, so that's good.
Okay. Yep.
You haven't received anything else, but as soon as you start heading out, because I'm assuming you're going to a bar or to the fest hall for dinner. This is just an assumption with two halflings and essentially knowing this group of how much food they eat.
And we're starving.
Mm-hmm. there is the talk of the tavern, or talk of the fest hall, tonight as you emerge from your crab, is that Burlock, like they're talking like Burlock as if a friend of theirs, actually agreed to shave their beard off. And like there's a group of dwarves, all with beards, and they're just like laughing at the idea that a friend of theirs called Burlock has actually agreed to shave his beard off for the sum of 1,000 gold. And they're just absolutely shocked that he would do this even for that little amount of money. But that's the talk of the tavern.
Okay, I am going to include the or try to get myself involved in the conversation, just in a way to point out, those Casselanters, they just hate dwarves, and they just think it's funny to make you guys shave your beards. I think that's really rotten. I think I don't know how you guys put up with one of your own turning against you like this. But that's really mean. That's really mean of him to just make a fun of all dwarves like that. I just feel bad about it. It's like when they make fun of the height of us halflings.
But halflings are small.
Yeah, but being small isn't so bad.
You need to be wide.
And having big, wonderful, glorious beards isn't so bad either. I don't know what they have against it, or why they think dwarves are so stupid.
No,
boy, they hate dwarves.
I don't know why they. This has been going on.
And you know what? And you know what they're gonna do after his beard is shaven off? They're gonna put him in a dress, and then they're gonna parade him on the street, and they're gonna sit and laugh at him as all the nobles of Waterdeep laugh and say, "Look at dwarves! Look at them!
One
it's
of them
awful.
I
heard about it."
one of the group does say, "I do remember Burlock being drunk once and being in a skirt, and it was funny though. I don't know about parading him down the street. That's a bit mean."
It'd be one thing if it was just him, but they're making fun of all of the dwarves. Racist bastards!
You love playing the race card in this game. So what, next are they going to be picking up halflings? Is that right? No, I think
they better not. Oh, they better not go to that. Oh.
They one of them does say, "I'll drink that."
Picking up people belongs to us.
Oh god. But yeah, they've.
Nick, are you crying? I'm wiping up a tear.
It was a beautiful speech.
That made me very happy.
Would you like to do a charisma or a persuasion? Just get a bigger reaction out of them.
Yes, I would. I would indeed.
You don't know if this is going to turn into a riot later on, but good it wasn't a 20, thankfully.
14. That's
They will buy you drinks, though. They will buy
This
you
would have
drinks.
been a perfect time to use your inspiration.
God, no.
Oh, it would have been a perfect. Oh, damn it! But you know what I can use? I can use my luck. So I rolled okay. I hate wasting luck when I've rolled okay to begin. But I can choose. So I'm going to use my luck just in case.
We're about to go to sleep anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll stick with the original.
Use another one point. You won't.
I'm just looking at that dice.
I can't use more than one luck on one roll.
That dice to me looks like a 1. That really does, sitting there.
I wish it was.
Then you get another free reroll.
Then I get another roll.
Yeah. Halflings with their luckiness. I don't know.
14's not bad. I'm
Yeah,
okay
14's
with that.
not bad. And the next one was 13. Or 12. So, yeah, not bad. So they do give you drinks They'll buy you drinks as a, like, you're one of us, you know what we're like, and you've excited them to, not to riot, thankfully, but you've excited that type of behavior that we shouldn't be picked on by the nobles.
I'm going to throw a little bit of gold into this party as well, just to see if that might actually improve my relation. I throw 3 gold worth of ale. Dwarves like ale.
They're spending more money on that.
Okay,
They're spending...
I throw another 3 gold in. Yet another round for my friends.
So they're spending...
We're not going to let the nobles kick us around.
Then you hear from other tables of not dwarves are actually like, yeah, us dockers, we should unite and we should fight back. And then that person just gets slapped in the back of the head.
Splitter dwarf who's betraying us all. We shouldn't let him do it.
What's the one the dwarves said? So we should glue his beard on?
No, we should tell him that he's not allowed to do it. That if he does it, we're gonna let him have it.
You see, while you don't hear the conversation, you can hear something spoken across the table by a few of the dwarves, just really quietly. And one says, "Why don't you go speak to his wife then?"
There.
She's the only one that's going to stop it.
I'm a married man. I know all about this. It's over.
If he's not going to listen to his friends, he's going to have to listen to his wife. Otherwise, he's going to wake up with an axe.
Yeah. Okay. I end the evening with big hugs for all my new friends. So good to meet you all. You guys are awesome.
Do you accept the speaking to his wife offer?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're suggesting that I go speak to his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where do I find his wife?
They'll give you an address in Dock Ward.
Okay.
It's not in this specific area, but they'll give you an address, and they'll say, "I don't think she knows yet," and I think she was going to, I think he was going to buy himself something with the proceeds. But we don't really know. But if he's not going to listen to his friends, I think someone should speak to his wife. And this little one here is the loudest, and he makes so much more sense than we do.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. And hey guys, so this is where his wife lives. I think we should let her know what her husband is about to do.
All right. I assume you explain the situation.
Dwarves have this thing about shaving their beards. It's like if I shaved my feet, it would be awful. Oh, the humiliation.
Buffy, don't talk about it.
Oh, how would she ever put her face out in public again?
Her luscious, beady face out in public again.
Bare feet. I might as well wear shoes then.
I know. It's just not right.
I've been thinking about what you've done and just carrying this, just continue walking this dog down this hypothetical road. We're gonna have to get a beardless dwarf sometime, and now all the dwarves are vehemently against it.
Until we need one to be for it, and then I think we'll just get lucky. Anyway, let's take care of this one.
Or we could just get one really, really drunk.
For all I know, we might just find a beardless dwarf.
All right.
You know, things just tend to work out for us. They always have. I think they still will.
Yeah, saving those with fireballs.
We can't allow Casselanters.
I don't know if this has been working out running from the city for the past.
We live in a lobster.
Yeah, it's it might be comfortable for you, but it's pretty cramped for a guy like me.
We're sleeping underwater.
It's not cramped. It's cozy.
It is so nice. We all cuddle up together, and then we surface at
Castle in the
midnight,
middle.
and there's a pub across the street.
I get sweaty in there. It's too hot.
It is very hot when it's operational. It's very, very hot. And there's a picture of the lobster that they live in.
But it's also summer right now. It's hot and muggy anyway.
It is.
Hot and muggy in bed.
Yeah, but it gets nice and cool at night. Now I'm deprived of that luxury.
Just go out in the water. It's freezing.
Yeah, just take a dip.
That's what I've been doing.
It's just outside it's outside the back hatch or the top hatch.
And when we met, neither of us had a single gold dragon. Now look how many we have, and look how many we're gonna have.
Once you give away half your share.
Yeah, that's still lots and lots and lots.
Still a lot.
I must say I did like the fact that you only thought it was 100,000, and giving away 10% of 100,000 wasn't very much. It's a little bit more than 100,000.
Oh, okay.
Just a little bit. Yep. But you said the percentage is not an actual fixed number, so I liked when you negotiated that one. By the way, the person you're working with actually knows a better value than you do, which is why he agreed.
You know, for a guy who doesn't wear a lot of clothes, he's rather intimidating.
Well, he likes to show off his body. So, are you going to...
He strikes me as somebody who can get things done.
Yes. Whether for good or evil. So are you going to try to head to the dwarf, or are you going to try to... What's the plan?
I think we should go talk to the wife. What do you think? I think that's a good idea. Because he's going to shave himself for the wrong people.
Yeah.
So he should shave himself for the peasants, not for the lords.
Exactly.
Okay.
Who wants to help
Not for
nobles?
someone else.
That's
For
going to be...
Yeah, he's shaving himself for the baddies instead of for the goodies.
It's going to be an interesting argument. So if you go through the
I'm
docs-
not participating in this argument.
Where's
Lucky can go argue against this.
Okay.
So lucky you find yourself, and anyone else finds themselves.
I've been following.
I follow, yeah.
I want to watch.
Yeah, you're watching the other
following.
side of the street to see if he gets slapped or not. Okay. So Lucky finds himself in front of just an indistinguishable, nondescript house in the dock ward. It doesn't look like it's fancy. Just looks like a normal, slummish house, like pretty much all the other houses in the dock ward. Knock on the door, and a little bit later, it's answered by a very large, burly woman. Dwarven woman at that, and a luscious beard, plaited, with gold pieces like rings in there as well. Well kept. Her hair is put back. It's a nice ginger colour as well with the beard, and it's plaited back. She looks very well presentable, more so in this area than she should be. She looks like she should be living in at least how she presents herself in a higher area of the city, even though her clothes are quite rough. And she says, and as she opens the door, she starts looking up and then pauses to look down. It's like, who are you? Are you selling something? Yep.
Can you remind me of the name of the dwarf that was
Burlock.
shaving his beard?
Burlock.
Okay. Hi. I just need to find the wife of a dwarf named Burlock. Is that you?
What has he done this time? What has that stupid man done?
Just excuse me. I'm just a little taken back at the gloriousness of your beard. Wow. You are such an example of dwarven beauty. Explains why so many of you wear these beards with such pride. Anyway, the reason I'm by going tonight, and I was sent. There's many of your dwarven friends who are a little ashamed to come to speak to you. So they asked me to come to talk to you.
That's because the last person
unfortunately,
that came...
about the behavior of your husband.
The last person that came here tried to claim money from my husband from his debts got slapped into last week.
No, I
don't have money.
I wish it was about money. It's far worse. It's about the pride. It's about the pride of your very race. It breaks my heart.
What has he done this time? What has that idiot done?
He's shaving his beard off. Shaving his beard off because he doesn't care about dwarves.
I thought you were going to say he's run off with an elf, but that's even worse.
Oh, I wish he was running off with an elf. An elf, no good, self-respecting elf would never ask a dwarf to shave his beard. But no, you know who's asking him to shave his beard?
An elf?
Some nobles who hate dwarves, and they just want to make fun of him.
Oh,
but he doesn't know that.
Must be one of those damn elves doing. Oh,
It's humans, a human noble family, but they're bad. They hate dwarves. They're racist.
They short-lived things. No, not short. Pointing at you, saying not short, but short-lived things.
Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It makes me so sad.
Call themselves nobles when they only live 50 years.
And the first thing I thought when I heard about this is, how will his wife ever look any dwarf in the eye ever again, knowing her husband has done this shameful thing? And I thought,
well, I'd have to divorce him.
He probably hasn't even told her. So I just wanted to make sure he had. He has told you, right?
No, he hasn't, and I will chop off his head before he chops off his beard.
He's lied to you. Oh, I didn't realize it was so bad. I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to disturb you like this. I thought you knew already. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I hope you'll forgive me.
Do you want to do your persuasion now?
Okay.
You got advantage.
Awesome. I was going to have advantage one way or the other.
Yeah. Like I'm just giving you by starting off about the luscious beard was a beautiful way. I love that. So absolute advantage from that. And everything you've said.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, an 18. An 18 is totally. You don't know what's going to happen to the guy, but you know his beard's going to stay on him as she closes the door.
Okay. So within the embarrassment of accidentally telling her something that I thought she already knew, I make my apologies and make my way. I'm so sorry. And I run off.
Yeah.
And then I turn around the corner and immediately just walk into a stroll. Okay. Let's move on.
I just killed a man, and I'm proud of that.
This dwarf taken care of. Let's move on.
I think it's the case of I just killed a man, and I'm proud of it.
I don't think he's dead. He might wish he was dead.
She did say, I will chop off his head before he chops off his beard.
Yeah, I think he will probably just do what she tells him to do.
That was well done. That was really well thought out. So you think you've dealt with at least stopping or hampering the bearded dwarf? I'm going to have to do another timer on that one. Thank you. Okay, that's really, really annoying. No, it's brilliantly done. Brilliantly done. Like, absolutely brilliantly done. So, as you're sauntering off and the rest of the party is like, super happy. You feel like you feel there's a presence on you, and it's like you just hear like the flaps of wings before anything else as you turn around and just see into the darkness of just above the rooftops, just glinting out, like you can only just see it from what little light of the lamp lights from the streets. You can see further down the street that there is very dark figures flying towards you, large, monstrous, demonic, you could even say, or things flying across rooftops in your direction.
We better hide. Is there a place to bolt inside, preferably?
Roll a luck roll. As in, if you want to roll your luck and spend it, I'll let you roll a luck roll, and just see what's around. If there's something like
D20?
what beneficial. Yeah, D20. Higher, better,
okay.
And we'll just see. Okay. You know the area really well. You know there's a tavern just around the corner.
Good luck, guys! And I zip around. Mommy!
So you find yourself in one of the many taverns of Dockward. You're in this. Where are we? You're in Saloon Smile Tavern in Dockward. And what is everyone else running with, or is everyone else?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a spider on someone, so I cling to them.
No, it is tempting to stay and fight these demon monsters, but just on my own. But yeah, I'll pass.
No
Just
fair.
thinking of all the XP I could get from slaughtering them.
I know, and all the XP you missed last time you didn't slaughter them.
Oh man, it's gonna tear a hole in my metaphorical pocket of XP.
I know.
As we eat and drink in celebration, we're just going to be lamenting the XP we lost.
Hiding out in a tavern from demonic creatures flying in search of you. So how long are you spending in the tavern?
Well, I'm taking 5 dragons off my list.
Most of the night?
That much. Drinks, food, rooms, bring it all.
A dragon is 1 gold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the docks is
I thought it was 100 gold. I was like,
No,
boy.
No.
No.
Dragon is 100. Dragon is 1 gold.
I'm not that rich.
And drinks in the docks are cheap. So that's a lot of drinks.
5
and
gold
food.
is going to serve us very, very well. And everyone here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And keeps most people here for the rest of the night because it's a more joyous atmosphere instead of going outside where there's some very possibly bad things.
Which I don't mention about, but whenever anybody's talking about leaving, I'm like, I'll get you some more food. You still look a little hungry.
One more drink before you go.
The tavern owners love it. They're excited to have their because you're spending so much and keeping them all here. It's a great atmosphere all night long. Are you doing anything else? Because that was very early in the night that you started that.
I think we're going to wait at least a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody, I'm sure, will go out to take a look. I'm guessing
I can keep
our
watch of the
usual scout.
The spider scout.
Yep. Before Dandelion goes out, Dandelion, you notice like, because you're a bit more attuned to most people, you notice that outside the door, you can see some rats just pretty much at the front door, just waiting. You've got a following now.
Oh, I do. Okay.
You've got a following.
I'll hide under one of the tables, turn into a person, and then like shimmy over to one of the rats. Like, oh, hold on. Go under the table, turn into a person, prepare to cast. I'll just cast it. Speak with animals, and then shimmy over to the rats.
Yeah. Okay. And it's like, we've been trying to find you. Where have you gone? You're hiding.
Yes, I a lot of the larger things are trying to hunt me down. I have to hide. Predators and all that. What did you find?
Cats.
Mhm. Yep. These cats can fly, though. It's very scary.
Flying cats. And
Yeah.
you see a couple of them like visibly shaking.
Keep an eye out for this, guys. What would you find? And I'll take some stuff off the table and give it to him because there's like just food everywhere.
And they say, we some of my brethren they smelt the scent on someone. We smelt, yeah. Oh, we've been trying to find you, and we saw you come in here, and we could smell you. Your friends don't smell nice, but some of them do.
Some of them smell a lot like food. That's why I hang around him.
But yeah, we smelt it earlier tonight. Would you like to know where?
Yes.
Well, we've got to take you, but that's a weird... Are you going to be us again, or are you going to be you again?
Give me a second. Wait in the corner. I'll grab there some more food. Here, chew on this for a snack. I'll be right back. And I go over to everyone, and I'm like, I gotta leave.
Woo!
Huh?
Rats found the scent. They're gonna show it to us because they don't know street names and can't read, so they have to actually take us there.
Been talking to rats this whole time.
Yeah, and they found something. You know, problem with that?
I just find it rather amusing.
At least they talk back, unlike books. They don't talk back. It's very sad. They're just dead trees. Or
Would you call
sometimes
that
animal poop. I do know some pages that are made out of elephant poop. Mostly they're trees, though.
Okay.
Let's go follow the rats.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, hold on, just
Clear the table.
yeah.
Just
Just grab the one I can. Yeah. We really don't.
Okay, I'm good for a while.
You know the rats wouldn't mind it either, but apparently it's been eaten by all the halflings. How rude. So you exit out of the tavern. It has been a while. It's been a few hours, like several hours. You've spent quite a bit of money, and the tavern is really, really bustling. And as you get up to go and you go into the front door, it's like, no, wait, stay, come back. Look, we'll shout you a drink. And they're doing exactly the same thing as you were doing to other people here. try to
Okay,
get you
I'll
to
throw
stay.
out a couple gold.
No,
Like,
we'll buy you a drink. Come on back in. Come, no.
I'm gonna keep a very close eye on the halflings and like start pushing them out.
It's really.
We'll
So-
be back tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So you're doing the whole thing where you're walking
We love
behind
you all.
and just like pushing them gently
all
with your
we-
feet as you're walking to like keep nudging them forward, something like that.
yeah, probably like
Probably
with
just
with
got
a,
us by the back of our clothes.
Actually, Lucky is very easy to push because it looks like, although he makes a lot of motions about wanting to stay, he's very interested in following these rats.
But she's curious.
Yeah.
And then nibbling on things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, he likes the idea of that.
So my goblin is the same thing. You have to like walk behind and just like keep walking, pushing him by walking. I know exactly what you mean. It's when he tries to stop and then goes through your legs to go back. That's the scary part. So you walk out and there's like, as you finally go out, you see like a large group of rats, maybe about 30, 40, 50. Like you can see gutters, you can see like
my army.
there's a lot around. You also can see seagulls just resting on rooftops. and just waiting. And you hear this the chorus of the seagulls start up once they see you, and then they quickly die back down. They seem quite excited.
Mine.
Yeah, mine. And they fly off once they realize that you're going with the rats and not with them. But they're not nocturnal birds, and it is quite late for them anyway. But the rats start moving through the city and through the neighborhoods. And they're not using the easiest ways. Quite often they'll like use a way where essentially they're going through a hole in a wall, and you have to then go around a building or like go over a wall, things like that, because they use how they travel and they're not used to things as large as you to go through as well. So it's a little bit of an annoyance that way, and they have to wait for you, and they're quite annoyed that they have to wait for you because you're bigger, you're supposed to do these things and think these things through, and you're supposed to fit because it's their job, not yours. So there's a little bit of an impatience there. But you do get yourself through, and you find yourself in a neighborhood. I'll see if I can bring up a map because I do have one, although it wasn't loading previously before. It seems to be loading now. Let's see if we can zoom out, get some stuff going. There we go. And it looks like I'm going to have to put a rat on the map to represent the rat swarm. Oh wait, no, I can do a swarm of rats, can I? There you can. So I'll put a rat swarm on the map as well for you and move you across. Make sure you got the right map. It's been a while since we've done random maps. There we go. So it is a big map, please understand that one. I did have, if you have the animated backgrounds on, it does have an animated background. If you don't have it on, it won't. So if you have problems, just tell me, I will just flat out take it off, because I was having problems loading it before.
Okay, I'm currently blind. Who has a light source?
We are on the left side of the map, upper middle.
Yeah.
I found my token. I'm blind.
Yeah, you are blind.
Yeah.
Yes, because you don't have light sources. Because the docks is very poorly lit.
I light my lantern.
Yeah, I cast light on a dagger.
Okay, so your light spell is 40/20?
20/20.
I think.
And the lantern is 30/30.
So 60/30.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does it differently. Yeah.
Yeah. 40/20 and 60/30 for roll 20.
There we go. So casting a light spell. Oops, got to make sure the light spell and everything is all players C and all players C. So I just had it as dark vision instead. There you go. So we move across to our map.
A swarm of rats.
It is a
that's
swarm of
cool.
rats. It really is. You've got rats leading the way through the city. I don't know how to... I have seen a swarm of rats soundbite, but I wouldn't be able to find it quickly. But yeah, you're in the night, and the rats go, this way. We smelled it around here.
Okay. We follow.
Yep. And we start on our merry, merry journey. Whee! I love the fact you can use your arrow keys for the movements, and it starts running through here.
Oh yeah.
You've got to just keep up, because these are going to keep on going. As I said, they're excited
I'm just imagining how stupid this looks to any onlooker.
Following a group of rats.
Yeah.
You're following a group of rats. I've got to actually check my dark dynamic light. There we go. That's the right one. So you're following the swarm of rats. And people are looking out windows, and there's this horde of rats. I mean, I'm talking about 20, 30, 50 size of rats just scurrying through the hours, and you guys are following them and chasing after them. So they say, down this way, this way, this way. No, this way. Your short one's gone the wrong way. Bella? You're so cute.
Really? It looks like I'm right with everyone.
Yeah, but you weren't.
This way! This way!
Yes, that way.
This way! This way!
That way.
Okay, now I don't see anybody. That's weird.
We should be able to. And you hear a... Thank you. And you hear a gunshot. A large... Like 2 large bangs go off. And you can see, like, as you're going through, you hear these large bangs go off, and you have never heard this sound before. It's like a cannon. It's like a magical... Even a cannons don't exist, so it's like a magical explosion going off nearby. And you can just, like, it just... all the rats get spooked and they just run off, and it's such a different... like, you've never heard it. Even the fireball, which you've heard twice, some of you are a lot closer than others, is more of a whoosh, but this is just a sudden hit of loudness. It's even worse than a lightning strike because you just don't know what this is.
Do we hear where it's coming from?
You hear where it's coming from, and you can also... It was from down here, and you hear some... Well, you hear some panting, and then you hear, like, a scream that came with it, and yeah, I don't know if you can see. You might be able to. You can just see a little bit of blood on the ground there as well, because I know Lucky you went all the way across with a big movement.
Okay.
I'm going to turn into a steeder, so one of the halflings can get on me, and I'm going to climb up onto the rooftop.
Okay.
Are we rolling initiative, or?
Not at the moment.
Okay, I'm going to just run towards where I heard the gun shot come from.
So you can do your whole a turn worth of stuff.
And I have 120 feet of dark vision now as a steeder.
Let's get your dark vision set up. I'm guessing 120/60. This is common. Yeah. There you go. So
Crawling on the walls and the rooftop.
if you want to go onto the rooftop itself, I can break you over past the...
Oh yeah, I want to get on the rooftop.
Yeah. So you'll be able to see it there. And is Bella climbing on top of the spider?
Yeah, sure.
There. So you're up as well with the spider. And how far can the spider move in one round?
I have a normal movement of 30 feet, but if I use all of my movement, I can leap 60 feet vertically or horizontally.
Okay. Well, you're pretty much... That's pretty much where you'd be anyway, wouldn't it be? From where you were, I think. I think that's about right.
Yeah, I was at the entrance where the stairs were. It's about there.
Yeah. That's about where we're going to be. So, Lucky, you can just see that there's a body of what looks to be an elf in a sailor, dressed as a sailor, on the ground with a lot of blood around him. There is a dark figure essentially standing over top with a blade to the head to the top of the head of the elf. And I think that's initiative. And I'm just going to take the dynamic
that's a
lighting
good roll.
away from this section so you can kind of see. Yeah. So you can see from the top so it doesn't block you as much.
And I have a +1 to Dex as a steeder, so I actually have a 20.
20, I can fix that up.
I can change it too.
Oh, okay. And this is where we're going to end it, at the start of this initiative phase. Again, we're right at the start, right into a combat. We spent the entire time doing all the investigations and everything, and it's like, yeah. So my alarm just went off. I do have to go and get my little goblin from school, but you have found the Drow hunting elves in the Docks district. And he is essentially right about to scalp an elf in front of you. And that's where we're going to end for the session. Wow, that's... I think you did really well. And really, like... As I said before, you like having... there's like other timelines going on. And you'll hear about them, such as like the dwarf Burlock being paid... to shave his beard, and you seemingly you have stopped that. You're trying to intercept the longsword, or sorry, the great sword, in a very intelligent way, which is we'll see how that one plans out. But you're doing really well. It's like really impressive. Like, well done, go on. And I do love the we live in a labster, so live in lobster. That's awesome. I think it was really good. And Bozo, yes, I know you're stuck in the library, but it's okay. You still do some very valuable searching.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you're still the only person that's able to go to places because everyone else is being hunted. Yeah. So yeah, very well done. And we'll do our outros. I'll get some different music queued up. So who wants to do our outro first? Bozo, would you like to go first?
Yep, I'm Bozo. As normal, I don't have anything to plug because I'm a college student and I don't have like an art page or anything like some other people do. So.
And how about those local college sports teams things?
Yeah, I'm into the professional sports, but yeah, sports.
Yeah.
Go outside and exercise.
Or you can stay inside and be hobos or play D&D and stuff like that.
And, yeah.
The work I do is exercise.
There's also exercise D&D. It's called LARPing.
Oh, okay. Nick, would you like to... Who are you? What do you do? Where can people find you?
I am Nick, and you can find me on Twitter at FartSmart. I am also a college student, but my college education is doing art, specifically 3D art and games. And I just posted a video of our end of semester presentation. So yeah, tomorrow is my actual presentation. That was just the video that's going to be playing during it.
Ooh.
Super nervous for tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
I'm going to have to find that on Twitter then myself. And hopefully it all goes well with your presentation and there's no hiccups and no technical difficulties, which is always going to happen.
Yeah, we're using VR.
Oh, that's even more things that can go wrong. Absolutely, yeah. So hopefully it goes wrong. Hopefully it goes right and it runs smoothly and you get good results from it. Ursame?
I'm Ursame. You can find me at Twitter at Ursame Arts. I post drawings and stuff.
Yep. You're a fairly artistic group here. And also, lastly, Trent.
Yep, I'm Treant Monk, and I don't post any art because you wouldn't want to see any art that I do.
Not that it's not suitable for work. It's just probably not that high quality.
No. It's just so incompetent.
But instead, you do guides at Treant Monk's temple.
I sure do. I do videos at Treat Monk's Temple where I talk about D&D.
Yeah. And guides and other bits and pieces, classes and ideas, and there's a lot of great stuff
everything.
there. Yeah. My name's Karsh Goblin. I've been the DM, host, etc., producer of this little channel. And we do live role playing here. We do a few Let's Plays and a little bit of sim racing now, trying to minimize that at the moment. And you can check out our Discord down below. The link should now work. For some reason, we realized that there's been no growth in Discord because the link was 1 day only. And so no one's been able to click on it. So hopefully people can now click on it. And it's been there for a while. That 1 day only has been there for a while and expired for a while. You can check out our other stuff at Goblin Cave RPG on YouTube for all our previous episodes of this and all our other shows. And you can follow us on Twitter for Goblin_Cave. You can also subscribe to us, donate to us, which helps out financially. And you can also, what's the other stuff? Subscribe onto the YouTube and all the other bits and pieces as well. So it all helps promote the channel, or else lets us talk to you, and you can be notified when we're live or when we do uploads, etc, etc. So we will have a Let's Play tomorrow, hopefully a Vampire. I think we're close to endgame, and we also have Rusty Daggers hopefully again this week. Last week we had too many people sick and it was just can't really play with 1.5 people, unfortunately. So I think that's it for the week. It really was, one person was super tired, the other person was, so it was 2.5 people. One person was super tired because they'd been up for 18 hours. One person's not really a figurehead, couldn't really lead the party, and the other person had an appointment within an hour or two. So it really wasn't going to work. Really wasn't. So hopefully we're back again full strength this week. It's always fun. This group's fun as well. And we're getting some new D&D stuff or new shows running, hopefully by the end of the month. The Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and after this, some of this group are going to move to a Pathfinder campaign, which also should be good fun too. So I think that's me talking too much. Just a quick shout out for the Syrinscape for the audio, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's it. Okay. I told a lot of talking. So bye everyone. Thank you everyone. And the cast here are absolutely amazing. So I think they really, really steal the show here. It's all about them. So bye for now.